After more than 275 people on board became infected with norovirus. Passengers will have their entire fare refunded as well. The ship left Florida on Sunday for what was expected to be a 7-day trip to places like Jamaica. Passengers took to social media by Wednesday to tell stories of everybody getting sick and not being permitted to leave the ship for shore excursions. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
One of the top-selling recording artists of all time, R. Kelly, has been dogged for years by allegations of sexual misconduct, and he and his attorneys have long denied them. But an Illinois prosecutor's plea for potential victims and witnesses to come forward, and new protests are sparking hope among some advocates the R&B star might ultimately face criminal charges. For now, prosecutors continue to review the allegations. Lisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Security Title is honored to sponsor Ray Gibson on The Point. In 2019, we resolved to continue our mission of protecting and ensuring the land and homes of our beautiful island. Additionally, we resolved to maintain our vital connection to our families and our community. Protehi Itanotmo, protect your land. When it comes to your family land, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A man who attempted to smuggle nearly a pound of methamphetamine into Guam inside his wheelchair will spend 5 years and 3 months in a federal prison. 35-year-old Eric Vincent Morta Benavente is a paraplegic who suffers from a number of health issues. He was arrested at the airport on October 15, 2017, after arriving on a flight from Narita. Assistant U.S. Attorney Belinda Alcantara sought a tougher sentence of up to 7 years, saying Benavente used his disability to conceal and manipulate the truth. Benavente told the court he was sorry, and he said he understood there are consequences that he will now be facing. A couple that faced 2 drug trials, both of which ended in hung juries, will now be tried a third time, but this time in California instead of Guam. The U.S. Attorney's Office in California has issued an arrest warrant for Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier. Martinez and Mosier are accused of money laundering and conspiring to distribute methamphetamine in connection with an alleged plot to bring 8 pounds of crystal meth from California to Guam in 2015. The key witness against the couple in the 2 previous mistrials was former Guam Customs Lieutenant Henry Alvendia, who cooperated with federal authorities as part of a plea deal in the bribery charges that he faces. However, in each trial, the defense attacked Alvendia's credibility, contending that Martinez and Mosier were entrapped and the drugs were planted. We'll have more news after this.
Insurance doesn't have to be another budget buster. Nambo Insurance has reasons for you to celebrate this new year. With Nambo Insurance Bundle Up Plan, you can save big. Bundle up your home, auto, or motorcycle insurance and save up to 50% off. Start off this new year with great savings from Nambo. Hurry and visit our 2 locations in ITC Building in Tumanin and our new Nambo Building in Hagåtña. Call us at 477-9754 or visit us at nambo.com. From our Nambo familia to yours, we wish you all a happy new year.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
9 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero paid a visit to the Department of Administration yesterday, where she declared if there is no money, we cannot spend. Leon Guerrero met with DOA Director Edward Byrne and the staff and management of the GovGuam agency that pays all the bills and issues all the paychecks to GovGuam employees. Leon Guerrero said she would be monitoring the government cash balance on a daily basis. And if there isn't enough money to provide for services, then we'll look at ways to increase that revenue. Leon Guerrero also expressed confidence in the leadership at DOA, saying she decided to keep Edward Byrne on at the helm because he brings consistency and stability to the department. And she said Deputy Director Edith Pangilinan has a lot of experience in personnel management. Former two-term Governor Carl Gutierrez has landed a job with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. John Jr. Calvo, Deputy Chief of Staff for Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, confirmed that Gutierrez is a member of the administration, but he declined to say what position he has been appointed to. Former governor told the Guam Daily Post that he would wait for the formal announcement from the new administration before making a public comment about his role. Gutierrez competed against Leon Guerrero for the Democratic nomination for governor last year. He finished third in the four-way race behind former Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and Leon Guerrero. However, Gutierrez was quick to concede and publicly endorse the Leon Guerrero Tenorio campaign. And following Leon Guerrero's victory in the November general election, Gutierrez was appointed as one of several senior advisors to the gubernatorial transition team. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now. Without weather.
No way. We actually have. Well, it's weird. We can't get to. Neither one of us can seem to get on the National Weather Service site.
Yeah, evidently that's a result of the shutdown in some way or another. I was able to get on the site, but then when we got to the public information sections, they just weren't loading. So we just had to kind of make it up as we went along today.
Can't Lou Leon Guerrero fix that? What is days into the administration and we've already lost the radar?
Yeah, it's Trump. And this time, really, it is.
Partly cloudy and breezy through Saturday with a slight chance for isolated showers. Expect increasing clouds and showers on Sunday. Northeast winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing each evening. Highs near about 88 degrees and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Sunset tonight, 10 after 6. Sunrise this morning should be about 6:45. Expect a high risk of rip currents along east-facing beaches through tomorrow afternoon. And we'll get into a little bit of additional visuals from this we can get to. I mean, we can still see the satellite imagery, so you get an idea of what the weekend forecast is going to be like. Do I get grill marks this weekend?
If you get them, you'll have to get them mostly tomorrow. And we can see the satellite here. Of course, this moisture down to our southeast, those are the remnants of what was Tropical Depression 01. Yep. It's still a tropical disturbance, as it does have those moisture and weird trophy characteristics to it. Most of it is going to slide to our south, but as you can see even here on the satellite now, some of that moisture making its way up into our area, and that'll be bringing rain as we go, and just increasing amounts right on through Sunday. Looks like Monday could be kind of a scattered rainy day, depending on how close that moisture gets here. And still got the surge coming in from the north. You can also see that on the satellite. Had a nice push yesterday afternoon as the air pushed on in. Probably get some more of that, and really it depends on which one of those features wins out.
It looks like there's a little bit of a competition here between what's coming up from the south and what's pushing down from the north.
Yeah, and my thinking yesterday was that the push from the north would be significant, that it would keep the moisture out of the area, and it looks like that could take place. So we're just going to have to see how this develops, because nature does what it wants to do.
I'll just be prepped for anything.
There you go.
I'll keep an eye out on the skies, and if it looks like I might be able to snag some grill marks this weekend, then I'll run over to the beach. 6:13 in the morning. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Are you not getting paid what you're worth? or not reaching your full potential at your job? If you're pioneering, adventurous, competitive, love talking to people, and want to earn $100,000 per year, sell cars on U.S. military bases with Military Auto Source. Start on Guam, stay on Guam, or move to Japan or Korea. To see if you qualify, visit MASEastasiarecruiting.com. Military Auto Source, helping you reach your full potential.
Decades they have been serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Guam. We're talking about Kings, and they're going to continue to do that all the way through the entire Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. So yeah, get some hungries in you, then get to the nearest Kings. They've got one over in Harmon and one in Tamuning. Also brought to you by American President Lines. APL is shipping the future of Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar, and we've got pals over at Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
Good plan. Hey, you want to save some money into this new year? Save up to 50% on your insurance with Nanbo Insurance's Bundle Up plan. Call them today. They'll open up a little bit later on. 477-9754.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
The vocabulary of the Ray Gibson Show. Some people might tune in and not know just what the heck I'm talking about. You know, half the time I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But I say words. I say words like grill marks, and what grill marks means is can we go to the beach? Now you're sitting there going, well, you can go to the beach anytime you want to, but it's a question of what kind of sun you're going to be getting when you get to the beach. And you know, you get to the beach and it's overcast and real cloudy up there. Chances are you're not going to get that sizzle, that burn that you're going to get if it was just the naked sun right on top of you at about 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's that burn, that sizzle that I refer to as grill marks. So that's what I'm looking for when it gets to be the weekend. It's one of my favorite things to do is go and find a sandy spot there and just watch bikinis and feel that sizzle. Get those grill marks.
There you go. Yeah, this afternoon will be good for that, and again tomorrow, probably early in the day, but as the day goes on. Sunday, not so much.
No, I'd love to do it this afternoon. That would be, you know why? Because everybody else will be at work.
That's right.
And I can be sitting on the beach, you know, as a sandy spot there, bikinis over there, cold beer over here, thinking, I'm here, I'm at the beach, I'm playing hooky, and everybody else is at work today.
Have you been brushing up on your Korean for times like that?
Ooh,
you might want to strike up a conversation.
안녕하세요. 여보세요. And that's all I remember from the crazy Korean bar heydays of the 80s and the 90s. I'm also trying to bring back a few other words here this morning, and if for no other reason because it aggravates people, there's words that I use. As somebody said, hey, what are you going to be doing later? I said, I don't know. I'll beep you.
Nice.
I'll beep you and let you know where I'm going to be. And they said, especially the younger ones, they don't know what the heck I'm talking about. What do you mean you're going to beep me? Didn't you not have a beeper? Did your parents not have a beeper back in the olden days? I did. Remember, it was the first sign that I was some kind of a grown up, some kind of it was in a leadership position. Was when they gave you a pager back in the day, a beeper back in the day, so the boss could get a hold of you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because radio, man, there was no automation. Somebody had to be at the office and push the buttons and play records. So yeah, we had beepers. There was a time, old Motorola guys will remember a thing called like fail-soft. And fail-soft is what happened when the pagers, the mechanism on the pager, the automatic squelch, would stop working for you. which meant that you could hear all of the pages that were going on. Now, this is back in the olden days where the pagers were actual digital recorded messages, and depending on what time it was, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, it was usually wives asking their husbands when they were going to be coming home from the bar. So you could listen, and this Guam is a small town back in those days. You knew some of the voices that were hollering at their husbands in the fail-soft to tell them to come home. And on the way, by the way, could you stop by the store and get some bread and milk and eggs? 6:18 in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. That's Michael Knight. He'll get the phone in between attempts to get the radar system going back up on the gizmo. So expect that. You can also send me, if you've got radar imagery, send it to me at 988-5874. That's the WhatsApp. That seems to be working despite the federal government shutdown. 988-5874. Don't have any interesting memes for you right now. You know what I've been getting a lot of these, and I don't know why, is there was a Sci-Fi Channel show about Tautamonas on Guam. There's this Guamanian zombies, I think is how they were trying to cast it. I've been getting, I swear to God, entire episodes, 22 minutes worth of an entire episode of this show coming in on my WhatsApp. And it's not just from like one person. It's the whole viral WhatsApp community that's sending it to me. I don't have any more memory on my phone now, because people have been sending me gigabytes worth of the Sci-Fi Channel. And it's one of those things. If it was 2 minutes long, I might watch it. I might watch the thing, but you're sending me something that I'm going to watch on my phone for 22 minutes?
Not going to happen.
Never, ever going to happen. 6:19 in the morning. My buddy Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post is with me this morning. Hi, Kev. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, you know what? The other morning you played. You got off early so that you could go run by that Lodi DFS hearing over at court. But I haven't seen anything written up on that. Was there anything to it?
It was a bust. No.
Oh. Nobody got told to hand over the contract and nothing?
No, they just set a date, a future date. Sometimes that happens. You go to court, you sit there for an hour or so, and
brave the parking lot, empty your pockets as you go through the security doors, and then all of a sudden it's just like, here's that. We're going to give you a new date, and so we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Okay, so just kind of a continuation of the process. But that does not mean that we're short of interesting news. We got all kinds of crazy, new, and interesting topics that we get to talk about today. It's a new administration. Of course there's new stuff. Of course there's crazy stuff that is worth talking about. And, unfortunately, we've got this jughead meth cases all over the place that are worthy of talking about as well. So it might be a little bit of expanded thug jughead meth guy talk that comes up this morning, as well as some other things that are taking place as we meander into this weekend here. 6:21 in the morning, but we've got to find out who the real superstars are of the Ray Gibson Show.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Ismael Velez is there this morning. Hey, Mark Cruz waving at me. Lynn Vince Borja Polino saying morning. There's Linda Gabriel, Evergreen, South Guam. Nick Perlowski, and who else? Ken Leon Guerrero. Tim Lahan. Let's go. There's a guy that we ought to talk to. Tim Lahan, motorcycle guy, right? We've been yakking about that new Harley-Davidson, the Live Wire, which is their electric kind of, what did you call it? Rice rocket? Thigh rocket? What is it?
Crotch rocket.
Rocket.
Yeah. Looks very crotch rocket.
Crotch rockety. And so the question that I've got, Tim, is what do you and the other Harley guys have to say about that? Will it make any kind of noise? I mean, we're not talking about, one of these deep-throated, million cc air pump systems.
Maybe they have like
dual
speakers
noise
on the back where you can play noisy bike.
I'm sure it won't be the same. Ismail talking about Luli and Guerrero in the headlines this morning. If we don't have any money, we can't spend on anything. No money, no honey. Mark Cruz of Rai St. Nicholas is there. Jane Sasai, John Ray Taitano with his Biba Betness. Yes, we found our way to Friday. The POTUS has permanent grill marks with a little Azzotti. That's nice. Jennifer Badar, I got Bob Lizama. It's Friday. Good morning. Thanks for the notice. Dave Duenas, Luke, St. Nicholas Engel. no. I like how the Weather Channel posts those satellite videos, but I've always wondered where the hell Guam or Saipan is in the middle of this, in the whole map. Do we, as the public, supposed to guess where Guam is? Can you smart people at the weather station draw a white or black outline around the Guam so we can possibly know where it's at? Look, the answer to that question is no, I can't do that right now. It's a piece of technology that I don't currently have for the Facebook Live thing. No, and I might be able to, if I really, really thought about it, come up with a Ray Gibson style visual radio hack that we might be able to do with that to be able to get it going. But generally, we try to position Guam and that particular piece of latitude, longitude around the center of the screen.
Yeah,
that's what we try to do.
Yeah, see, it's just a little above and right of center in the picture right now. Those little pink dots in the middle of all the blue. That's what you're looking for,
that's
bro.
Us. That's us. If you go too far over in one direction, you get the Philippines. If you get too far in another direction, you get Japan. So you'll just have to trust that Guam is in the middle. We will always attempt to put Guam in or around the middle of your Facebook Live, YouTube Live stream.
Aren't we the center of everything anyway? Really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guam is I'm serious. Guam is the center of the universe. You go traveling, and it doesn't matter where you go, but you can go to Antarctica, you can go to Minneapolis, you can go to Florida, you start talking about Guam, and all of a sudden, everybody has got some kind of a Guam experience. There's very few people I've ever run into that weren't able to make a comment about Guam one way or the other, because everybody, this is the crossroads of the planet. Eunice Mendiola is there, Rico Blancaflor, nice to see you there, Richard Leon. Guam public is sick with the fact that Carlito G is the hidden goober. What? The double dipper. Lulian Guerrero shows her colors. Yellow. Bonus Diaz. Are you trying to say Buenos Dias? Richard V. Leon Guerrero, talking about when he says Carlito G, I'm assuming he means Carl Gutierrez. We'll talk with him in just a little bit. Editha Camarillo's there, Roy Gamboa, and Bert Duarte, Carl Facuda. Hope you got your workout in there, Carl. Doris Mendiola. Carl saying, if you're from Guam, you know where we are. Just saying, good morning. And yes, the workout is done. Happy to hear that. Sylvan Tadella and Anita Muffness with the pretty Valentine's eyes. The little purple dot on my screen. Carl knows where we're at. Randy Kruger's waving. Johnson Nicholas says, have a good weekend, everybody. Go Cowboys. What were you saying about if the Cowboys win this morning? What was that about?
If the Cowboys win this weekend, yeah, we will never, ever hear the end of it. I mean, they just won their first playoff game this century. And they just won't shut up about it on Facebook. If they win this weekend and beat the Rams, who actually are Super Bowl favorites, we'll never, ever hear the end of it.
Cheryl Ojai is on. Randy Kruger saying TGIF, Pat Norma, Gene Flores, and Rick Leone. Simon Sanchez, and we send our congratulations to Simon Sanchez and all of the men and women of the Consolidated Commission on Utilities who were sworn in yesterday, right, over at the Utility Palace out in
that's what I hear,
out in Manilao, and so we'll see if we can get caught up on all of that. Anyway, 6:26 in the morning. Table of contents. Is there anything on the table of contents? A little bit of local stuff that I kind of want to go over this morning. One of them is where is tuba? So a friend of mine is craving sweet tuba. And was asking among a WhatsApp chat the other day about where do we go to find ourselves some sweet tuba. And here I am, big shotting. I'm big shotting on Facebook saying, you know what? Or on the WhatsApp, I'll just ask on Facebook because I'm Ray Gibson and I have a zillion followers on Facebook, and I'm sure somebody will be able to within minutes, tell me where we might be able to get our hands on some sweet tuba. Stand by. That was I don't know, 10:30 yesterday morning, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And nothing. No. I got a couple of responses. One from exactly. One from a Filipina friend of mine works over at the court, and she says, "Well, they have some in my province." Thanks, babe. Marissa, that really, it's funny, but it is of zero value to me. And then somebody else said, you got to drive down to Moleso because they got that. There's a couple of places down south where if you honk your horn, there's a little table outside and there's fruits and vegetable stand that you honk your horn and then somebody will come out and sell it to you. But you know what? That's kind of a long way to go. Even with gasoline at $3.89 a gallon or $3.90 a gallon, that's a long way to go. That's on a long shot that maybe they've got. So help out a brother here. If you know where I might be able to get my hands on some sweet tuba, then 888-8255 is the number, or drop a pin. You know how to do that? Drop a pin in your WhatsApp, 988-5874, so I can help out. That's what it is. Ismail said there's tuba in Mauricio. How do you know there's tuba in Mauricio? You drive down at $3.90 a gallon and tell me whether the lady has got some down there. Now there is also, and I'll get the explanation on this in just a little bit. This is going to be one of those things that people say, how is it possible, Ray Gibson, you lived on Guam for 56, almost 57 years, and don't know what this is? There has been an ad in the classifieds over the last couple of days advertising the local gadu. It's the last harvest for sale at $4 a pound. And I have no idea what that stuff is, but I know where to get the information, and we'll do that here in just a little bit. Now, seriously, on the table of contents, is going to be able to make my way through the show. This is one of the more interesting stories. Front page of today's Guam Daily Post. 5 years for smuggling meth in a wheelchair. You got a guy was injured in some kind of an accident and rendered a paraplegic, and now has to suffer life on a wheelchair. And apparently, according to the lawyers, used that disability to conceal and manipulate the truth. Tried to smuggle in something like 5 pounds of what was it? How much? A pound of methamphetamine. I don't know, but that's a lot. That is a lot. Oh, don't you tempt me this early in the morning? Don't you tempt me into that? I just always having a hard time with my accident in the wheelchair. You know how hard it is to go up and down on a wheelchair. Have you ever tried to just navigate Guam sidewalks with it? That would send anybody into meth heaven. I need methamphetamine because I cannot make it through a quarter mile of sidewalk on Guam in a wheelchair. And now that's a fact. You talk to anybody in the disabled community, and they will tell you that has got to be one of the biggest pet peeves that we've got. We've got the miles of sidewalk. And punctuated by utility poles. Yes. Because Guam, that's why.
Oh, they do the same thing in the Philippines.
Oh, do they?
Actually, they like to leave them in the streets in the Philippines. Nice.
So anyway, the guy got busted for trying to smuggle in from this is the interesting part of it, how we got it through the Narita airport. Without triggering something in the wheelchair. Anyway, so he gets to go on 438 grams of methamphetamine, street value of almost $500,000 in the wheelchair. And this is the guy. I remember talking with Tony Lamarena about this a couple of weeks ago. This is the guy that was looking to the courts for some kind of leniency because he found prison to be traumatic. And I thought, it's prison. Yep. That's why this is not the Dusitani. This is not the Hilton. This is prison.
Here's a hint. Don't be a drug mule.
Don't try not to be a drug guy, and you won't have to worry about the trauma of going to prison. Apparently, he's going to be sent to an off-island prison where I guess it's not going to be as traumatic, but it got 5 years for smuggling meth in a wheelchair, obviously with the intent to deliver at some point here. And I don't. This is another one of those cases where you just go, where is the justice on Guam? We had this massive drug problem, and we've got somebody, and we've proved now beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was importing this stuff into town. And what's he get? 5 years. 5 for the scourge that on this community that ICE is. We continue to send a message that we're going to be lenient on pushers and kind of look the other way. And you've got a problem, you're in a wheelchair. We'll send you to maybe a little bit more of a club fed kind of situation as opposed to the trauma of prison. Kiss my grits. It's 6:32 in the morning, and we got headlines from the Guam Daily Post and Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. Richard Ibanez, acting director of the Department of Parks and Rec, says he's working with acting BBLR director Lester Carlson to find the money to pay down the whopping $900,000 bill that Parks and Rec owes to the Guam Waterworks Authority. Ibanez and Carlson paid a visit to the Agana swimming pool yesterday, which is blamed for $500,000 of that $900,000 past due bill. The Agana pool has been closed since November, and its water service has been cut off. Last month, Former Parks and Rec Director Bill Regis blamed most of the bloated water bill on a leak in the piping at the pool. But yesterday, Ibanez told the Guam Daily Post that the Guam Waterworks Authority did not find a leak at the pool. He said he believes the problem may be with the infrastructure of the pool itself, but he also acknowledged that human error could be a factor. Ibanez said his goal is to reopen both the Dededo and Agana swimming pools within the first 100 days of this new administration, but the priority will be to get the Dededo pool open first. It's been closed since September of 2017. The Dededo pool is waiting the arrival of a pump, which is expected to come in later this month, and he hopes the Dededo pool can be reopened within 3 to 4 weeks. Tina Munoz-Barnes said her priority during the next 2 years of her term as Speaker of the Guam Legislature will be to get laws that have been passed implemented and not to pass new laws. She told members of the Rotary Club of Guam yesterday that would be her central theme. Speaker Barnes said, "We are walking on economic eggshells, and tax revenues are desperately needed in our cash-strapped government." She cited a number of laws which, if enforced, would raise the revenue needed by the government of Guam, including her own unimplemented bottle bill, which was meant to turn trash into cash, she said. Barnes said she would work with the Leon Guerrero administration to get that and other laws already on the books implemented and enforced. A 31-year-old man is behind bars after allegedly threatening to destroy 2 public schools in an effort to reach a woman known to him. John Daniel Nago is also under a restraining order to stay away from that woman. According to court documents, staff at Benavente Elementary School called police last month after Nago allegedly called the school and demanded to speak with one of the teachers. He threatened to burn down the school after staff told him the teacher was not available, according to the court record. He also allegedly called Finnegajan Elementary and told the staff there that they better watch their school because he was going to blow it up, according to the report. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Okay, good plan. It's 6:35. That is iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect. There's one nearby you, a shopping center, right behind where the radio station is, and ask them about some great 2019 plans for internet and push-to-talk and even mobile. 888-8888 is their telephone number.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Voila! Nothing traffic right now. It's 6:36 in the morning. I'm looking at the traffic gizmo and see nothing anywhere. Nothing that looks like it's going to slow you down. Nothing that looks like there's traffic building up anywhere. So I'm just going to make this a real short one. I'm not even aware of any overnight showers on any of the roadways or lights in blink mode. So just hit the road and enjoy the drive. 6:36 and right now traffic on the point.
Laddie Stone Entertainment and the stations of Choice Broadcasting invite you to meet the 2019 Miss and Mrs. Curvy Pageant contestants with the official meet and greet on Sunday, January 20th at Icon. Doors open at 6 and it's $15 at the door, and it comes with your first drink. Get to know your favorite curvy contestants with the fabulous fashion show by Figure 8. It's the 2019 Miss and Mrs. Curvy Pageant. Brought to you by Pitbull Empire, Figure 8 Boutique, local promos, Bongdozas, and Icon. For more information, check out Laddie Stone Entertainment on Facebook. It's the 2019 Miss and Mrs. Curvy Pageant.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show.
My father-in-law makes tuba in Mauricio. Okay, then ask him if he has some, and then we'll work on making some kind of arrangement for my friend who needs some sweet tuba to drive all the way down to Molesso to go and get that good stuff here. What a great way to start the weekend. Drive down south. Why not? 6:37 in the morning. 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. And looking over a couple of comments here. What have we got here from the folks? Edita Camarillo, Bert Duarte, Doris Mendiola, and where did I leave off at? There, Cheryl Ochai, Rick Leon, Simon Sanchez, and Luke Angel saying, yes, Carl, I know I'm from and live in Guam. I'm just saying they can do a better show. Where is Guam? So we have a better idea how weather is going to be affecting us. I'm working, like I said, on a couple of MacGyver hacks, and we'll see if I can put something in place, maybe even as soon as the next weather forecast. Alicia Canetta is online this morning, and Carl with a note, no, Cowboys do not win. The bragging rights will stop this weekend. Go Bolts. I have no idea what that means. There's Katie Baltazar, Lillian Cruz, Darlene Blas, Vicky Ganashis Borja, and a hello from Lillian Cruz, TGIF, Ray, Kevin, and Michael, Charlie Laurent from GRMC, Mark Mendiola. I see Rod Rose Greeno, and Tim Lujan, who I'd asked, I was talking to Tim about online about the Livewire. He said the new Harley bike is called the Livewire Electric Bike. It goes 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. There is no shifting and no clutch. It's throttle and engine. Oh, boy, I could get in trouble with that. Just turn the crank and go, right?
By the way, Go Bolts. That's the San Diego Chargers. Sometimes their fans will say,
oh, I
Go
see.
Bolts.
Okay, all right. And I forgot, who are they going to be playing this weekend?
They're playing
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
No, the Colts are playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, they're playing New England.
Okay, got it. All right, so against the Patriots, and you've already said, was it you that said the Patriots? No, I said the Patriots are going to win. You and Blake said the Chargers are going to win.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are actually the better team going in, but it's New England. It's the playoffs.
Okay. Anyway, getting back to Tim, he says the Harley-Davidson Livewire electric bike, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, no shifting, no clutch. It's a beautiful bike and sounds unique, opposite of what we're used to hearing from a Harley-Davidson bike. We'll wait and see on what they bring it in, on when they bring it into Guam, and if it's affordable. About $30,000 is what we were told here at the MSRP. We can also insure it here at Nanbo's Insurance. Thanks very much, Tim. I appreciate you sticking the note in there for Nanbo. Vince LG, there's Bill Pettit, Nate Horn, Richard Clark, Joe Flores, Melinda Sanchez, and Carmelita Guerrero. Jeff Pleadwell is online. Jeff, with the constant reminder, watch out for waters on the eastern side of the island. And lately, more Portuguese man-of-wars that have been washing up over at Jeff's Pirates Cove. Got to work on a recipe for that. There's got to be a way that you could take those things and, I don't know, infuse them into cheeseburgers or something like that. 20 away from the top of the hour, and as we make our way through this, Friday morning, thank goodness. And happy to see that just about everybody is going to be working one way or another into this new administration, including former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez joining me now on the radio station. Morning, Gov.
Good morning, Ray. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. I guess the cat's out of the bag. Front page of the Guam Daily Post, former Governor Gutierrez lands administration job.
I don't know how Kevin did it, but
well, you know what? He asked John Jr. yesterday.
I know, but I think the pressure was going out today.
Well, what's the holdup? I mean, this.
You gotta remember the. Anyway, they've got their own method. But anyway, I'm really happy that that has come out. But certainly, I have to give more information as to what I will be doing at the administration. And as I sent you, I'm going to be the chief advisor, economic development, national, international affairs. And with that, it covers a lot of areas from looking at national laws that need to be probably tweaked to be able to make Guam work as America in Asia. You know, the one size fits all does not do well for us. And there's a lot of things that covers that, not only in shipping, in airlines, but in the customs users. So that's a job that has to be looked after from here locally first. For example, trying to find all the various laws that conflict with each other, get together with the various departments so that when we have the governor go out to Asia, for example, or anywhere, inviting people to invest here, that they don't bring this investors here and then run into all different kinds of roadblocks. With the historic preservation, the parks and recreation, the one-stop, the licensing, the permitting. I mean, that's what's chased away a lot of potential investors over the last several years from what I've gathered. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to bring one back. Hopefully I can leave in the next 10 days and for a couple of days and try to bring them back. And my goal is to once we put these laws together, have a nice one-stop center to make sure that we take these people around, make it easy for them to get their licensing and permitting, that we can ensure that their investment will be welcome here in Guam and not come here and not have the governor at the top moving them through. It's got to come from the governor and the lieutenant governor to be able to make sure that they have a lot of faith in bringing their money here.
Well, that helps streamline things for local businesses as well.
Absolutely, and that works for everyone here in Guam. Even once you remove, it's not like I want to invite somebody here and then suddenly they can't build where they want to build because of a possible lack of sewer, possible lack of water. I want to work with CCU to make sure that when we try to entice them, we marry the two together to see how they can both contribute to upgrading the system so that their investment will be protected and the lives of the people of Guam are as well protected. So these are the things that really make my job, a little bit harder. But I have to start from here, from ground zero. Look at all the various laws that inhibit the movement of good investors coming into Guam.
Well, I'm looking at the different titles that you've got involved here, and I'm trying to figure out where the edges of your authority are going to be. A chief advisor, I mean, that's a weighty title, and in charge of economic development, there's another very weighty title, and national and international affairs. It seems to me that you would be able to, I don't know, you'd be able to put your fingers in a lot of different pies.
That's correct. Now even in tourism, for example, over the last couple of months, we already wanted to get the governor and the lieutenant governor ready to move some of the programs that they were looking for, like the visa waiver program for the Philippines, and we had put together an appointment with President Duterte, with the governor and the lieutenant governor. Unfortunately, it coincided with the inauguration, but we're working on that because, as everyone knows here in Guam, as they were reading, or even in the United States, that Duterte was wondering how come the Philippines have to get a visa to get in the United States and the U.S. citizens don't need one. Well, we're going to try to make it easy and see whether we can get a Guam-only visa first, show the United States that we can control it through this enclave that we have here called Guam, where you cannot get beyond Guam into other parts of the United States without having to go through immigration here. So we want to make that as part of a program to ensure that we're not going to have illegals running wild all over the United States. So we're working to that. And
it's Guam. It's not like they can just drive to California or Washington State.
Yeah, but more so that you can't get on a plane, without a visa to Hawaii.
Right.
And so you're protected here and locally. But Ray, that sometimes a lot of people say I have a good networking ability, and I do. First thing I did, I know that there's a lot of people here in Guam, for example, like Ray and Imelda Perea, and the kids. Marco and Vivian and Andy Padilla, Fea Valles. These are the people that have connections in the Philippines. So if we can work out getting to the president by Ray and Imelda are neighbors of Duterte in Davao. So these are how we get in. Results is what I'm pretty much noted for, and I draw from all resources. Letter writing and all that, I think it's connections that really matter here in this part of the world.
No, I've never disagreed with that point. Speaking of connections, a good friend of ours, your former public affairs officer, Ginger Cruz, was back in town. Did you have an opportunity to talk with her?
Absolutely, and she has just rented a place up there, here on Guam, condo, and that she's going to move a business here. and that she does have a great connection in Washington, D.C., albeit probably Democratic, but we're going to try to draw from her. And as I spoke, I don't know if you know a young lady named Shelley Gibson.
No. Yep.
I've been speaking with her, and I told Governor Lou that there are a lot of people that I'll be drawing resources from, such as Shelley Gibson, and anyone that can contribute to getting our results. And so she understood that, and I'm just very happy that when I decided to support, and our supporters decided to jump over to Lou and Josh, it's because they said they wanted to move some of our own plans and programs and platform forward, and she kept her word. And that's why it'd be so wonderful working with someone that keeps their word, and so I'm just going to make them shine, hopefully, and the people of Guam, the better for it.
We'll know you're successful when the Guamanian kids that have gone off to military and college and work in the States return to Guam.
That's right, and there's a lot of movement that the governor, lieutenant governor, want in telecommunications. Mm-hmm. We have more fiber optics coming in and leaving Guam than any place else in the world. And I know some of that probably was intended, I suspect, for the military purposes. But we can draw from that. And there's those jobs there in cyberspace too, and the Space Force. There's a lot of things that probably Guam will be part of the Space Force. You don't know, but there'll be a lot of work here.
Well, they're already talking at the airport. Tom Atta is going to eventually start working with the guys over at Virgin so that we can become the spaceport of the Pacific.
Yeah, and let me give you some background on that. Jerry Yingling was my go-to guy at the airport, mm-hmm. and we had a plan to be able not only fly nonstop from Guam to Los Angeles or anywhere in the United States, but also to be able to draw something like this, that we put some money into the airport to extend it to 12,000 feet, the one runway. And that's already completed. And so with that, now people are coming in to try to take advantage of that. To the one point that we wanted to expedite it, Jerry Yingling looked at the laws and said, Governor, territories have a right to be able to take territorial highway funds and put it over to the airport. So that's what he showed me, and that's what we did. We moved it faster by taking territorial highway funds and moved it to the extension of the runway. These are the things that we put in place, and now people are availing themselves to the plan that we did 20 years ago.
Well, I like where you're headed with some of this conversation, but we still run into the "but Guam" thing. So it's nice that we've got these goals, these lofty goals, off in the future. In the meantime, there's still no water in the Agana swimming pool.
That's exactly. That's why I'm glad that the little things matter to Lou and Josh. Believe me, I call them Lou and Josh. It's easier than to say governor right now. But they're on top of these things. They know that little things matter. You take care of the little things, and suddenly you don't have big worries about anything else. So they're on top of it, and I'm glad that I'm part of this administration to hopefully get some of my experience, my relationship with Micronesia, my relationship in Asia, my relationship in Washington, D.C., to make some changes for Guam for the better.
Where are you going to be working? They got a salary for you?
Not yet. They offered me a salary, but and I accept whatever they offer me. It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. But I probably have an office space downtown, a small office space, and some staff to be able to move these things forward and allow me to draw from GIDA, from the airport, from GVB, from the Port Authority of Guam, all those people working there, so that we can be on one page when we move forward for economic development.
Dave Dueñas says, I foresee a brighter future for our island. Maybe that's based on the phone call that we've got here. It could actually work out to be the best of both worlds, and a lot of people who could not make up their mind between a Lulian Guerrero and a Carl Gutierrez. In this administration, you get both.
You know what, Ray, and that's what, sometimes it's hard to convince your supporters when you lose. But, they were wondering, why should I go to Lou? I said, listen, you vote for Lou and Josh. They told you they would help move forward our platform. So a vote for Lou and Josh is a vote for Gutierrez and Bernalillo as well. And that's where they kept their word, and we're here working together as one team.
Friends, our new Chief Advisor, Economic Development and National and International Affairs, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez. Thanks for giving me the time this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
One other question before I let you go, because I was looking at that ad in the newspaper. What the heck is GATDU? Did I say it right?
It's called GATDU.
GATDU?
Gado, yeah, it's the wild yam together with the nika, thorny vines, and they're the sweeter kind of yam, and especially the nika. Nika is sweeter, and they're very thorny. They curl up all over the trees, and that's the thorns actually were the ones used for the crown of thorns for Jesus.
Oh, interesting. So that's why it's so expensive, $4 a pound, right? Because you got to get through the thorns.
And fight the pigs, the wild pigs.
And fight the pigs for it. So now, how do you cook it?
You boil it and eat it like you would taro and yam.
I got it. Okay. All right. If you get your hands on some, let me know. I'll come up to the house.
Okay, I'll look it down at Fonte because you can tell when they're ready because the leaves turn brown.
Interesting. 6:52 in the morning. Former Governor Gutierrez. Thanks again. I appreciate your time. Congratulations. You got a new gig there working with Lou and Josh. How about that? 6:53 in the morning. Also raising his hand, oath of office yesterday, along with new Commissioner Mike Limtiaco, Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. Good morning, Si.
Good morning, Ray.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I love this. Pictures all over the place, including one where he refers to the other Auntie Lou as Babe. That's so sweet.
my Lou, it's funny, and we'll tell you a great story. But when they both worked at FHP, first gentleman Jeff calls, and my Lou picks up the phone, and first gentleman goes, "Hi, sweetie," and she goes, because I call her Babe, and I guess Jeff calls Lou sweetie, and Lou goes, "Sweetie," and says, "Oh," and now for the last 20 years, both the governor and my Lou refer to each other as the other Lou when they were the first gentleman. Always, first off, I'm just so grateful. A lot of my family, all my grandkids were able to be on island because they're back from school or work. And all of my siblings were there, and lots of my family were there. And my daughter, who is working for Lou now, she was the only one that couldn't be there because she's working.
Got a job.
She's got a job, but at least I thanked her for helping me run my campaign. And I'm just so honored. This is my fifth time I've been allowed to serve and by the people of Guam. And John was telling the history of the CCU and talking about 16 years, 17 years, and I've been there for every day of the. I'm starting my 17th year on the CCU, and I'm grateful, and hopefully I've been helpful. But it was a nice ceremony, and everyone was there, very festive, and many senators were there. That was great, and very collaborative feeling, a lot of upbeat feeling about working together. I know Senator Rogel was there, Senator Perez was there, talking about when we can provide them an oversight presentation on what's going on with the utilities. And Chairman Joey is already working with the front office as to when we can brief the governor on what GPA and GWA are doing so that they know where we fit into the cog and how they can help us and the things they don't have to worry about. I used to tell all the prior govs, I said, and senators, I said, don't worry about power and water. You guys can work on world peace. And it's a good division of labor because I think even as the governor said in her inauguration, no one person can do it all. It's collaborative. And here you see Governor Gutierrez is lending a hand now. Carlotta, former Senator Carlotta, lending a hand. Lots of different people. And that's really what you hope a leader does is recognizing that your strength is in bringing together many different people, even people that you didn't always agree with, not being afraid to reach out to those, because over time, the hurt and the pain and the disagreements from the political side give way to the recognition that, hey, this is a knowledgeable person. They are committed to Guam. I'm committed to Guam. I know we didn't always agree, but right now my job is to be a leader. Can you help? And I think all of us that have been reelected to serve now, we recognize that. And of course, each day you also recognize the burden. The utilities have challenges. There's things we have to keep working on, but the opportunity is also there. We're moving to renewables. We want to move faster to renewables. We're in the middle of a major master plan for GWA that will build a sustainable utility, and both will be sustainable utilities that can provide clean water, clean energy, efficiently at the lowest cost possible, so that you, me, our children and grandchildren never have to worry that they can't turn on, have the energy they need, and trust the water that they drink and swim in an ocean that we love. And that's why we do this. That's why we do this.
Now, is there some kind of a complex hazing? Besides, there's some kind of complex hazing ritual for Mike Limtialco, the new member?
No, we just throw them in the pool, kind of like when you told me to start running. I just said, okay.
Yeah, the pools are empty. That's a bad analogy right now.
Yeah. If we throw them in the pool now, it might be painful. But and I talked to the governor last night. There were mistakes on all sides, but ultimately, I think the first thing the CCU established is that all customers are the same. That includes the governor of Guam. You got to pay, and if you don't pay, we're going to turn you off because that's not fair to the other customers. And I know the governor and lieutenant governor are committed to fixing that. Here, Mr. Barnes is now digging into it. We've been very patient with DPR, perhaps too patient. Maybe we should have cut them off sooner, but we had promises of payment and partial payments, and then finally say, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, a very complex situation. I couldn't seem to get, even when I was talking with Les Carlson about it yesterday, I couldn't seem to grasp how it's possible that that almost $1 million worth of water bills didn't get paid, and where was the lapse in oversight over the bills arriving, I guess, at the Department of Parks and Recreation and getting to the Department of Administration.
Yeah, I mean, and where
do you know?
Like I said, no. I mean, we're not involved with DPR. And then who is? There's some people were talking about. There's a budget person for DPR in the Bureau of Budget, and how come they're not wondering? Hey, how come?
Where's the bills?
Down in your budget? Where are the bills? So it was a complete failure at many levels, and it shouldn't happen. I mean, if there's one thing you're supposed to do at DPR is keep water in the pool, and so, but. We're going to resolve it. They have to resolve it. I mean, they're not going to get their water back until they pay the bill, and that's right because that's how other customers are treated.
That's an important distinction. A lot of people were concerned to say, well, wait a second, if I don't get late on my bills, they cut me off. Well, the DPR got cut off. Hey, so I got a breakaway. I got the news coming up, but I wanted to offer congratulations. Maybe if there's another opportunity, I did want to ask a little bit about that wind farm that was going up, and I guess they want their deposit back. But I don't have time right now, so I'll catch up with you a little bit later on.
Not a problem. Have a great weekend, and thank you to the people of Guam for my opportunity to serve.
Well, not just you, it's the other guys too. I'll see you soon.
Well, but I can't thank that on their behalf.
On their behalf, right? I got you. 7 o'clock in the morning, this is Simon Sanchez from the CCU. This is Ray Gibson on 93.3 The Point. And where do we get to go in the next hour? We'll see what the Dow and the other markets have been up to. Last time I looked at it, everybody was in the green. Is the Dow going to close over 24,000 this morning? Within seconds of the bell, they're just shy of it by like 3 points. Here's Fox News.
RSVP from the president's former attorney. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Michael Cohen just announcing he's accepting an invitation from a House committee to testify publicly before he heads to prison.
Certainly, it will be fascinating to hear Cohen's side of the story and also some of the backstory Republicans will push him on as to how he reached a point where he pled guilty to lying to Congress about a deal that never went through in Moscow.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Washington. Cohen admitted that talks on that business deal lasted longer than he initially said after he had already pleaded guilty to hush money payments to women. He's now due on Capitol Hill next month, though the committee chair also says they want to clear it first with the special counsel in the Russia probe. This as President Trump continues a trip to the southern border, trying to build support for more border wall.
I think we're winning the battle in a very big way.
Also insisting he never said Mexico would write a check, though he did once write a memo that he would demand a one-time payment from Mexico.
He said they're going to pay for the wall. And if Congress approves this incredible trade bill that we made with Mexico, and Canada, by the way, but with Mexico in this case, they're paying for the wall many, many times over.
It's day 20 of the partial government shutdown.
Quite frankly, when the president talks about this being a national security issue, no, it really isn't. It's about a policy that is discriminatory as to where people are coming into this country.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the president should end the shutdown while the border debate continues. She won't say what her next move would be if the president follows through on a threat to declare a national emergency, but that would likely prompt legal challenges. 5 in a row on Wall Street and a late rally today, the Dow finishing up about 120 points. This is Fox News.
Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines. Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchange.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for two to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchanged. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details.
Docomo Pacific is making the Better Together bundle even better. 2 great services plus more. Get unlimited local calls, SMS, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet for $109 a month. Sign up today and get free installation and choose between a free Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or $100 off select devices. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
One state-level politician wants to send taxpayer dollars to help pay for a border wall.
A state senator in Montana is proposing the state give $8 million to help build President Trump's border wall, even though this past year Montana had been dealing with a deficit. Senator Scott Sales says he calculated Montana's share for the wall by dividing the state's GDP by the national GDP, then multiplying that by how much the president's asking for, $5.7 billion. A state senator in South Dakota introduced a bill that says the state should urge Congress to fund wall construction and ensure federal immigration laws are enforced, but the South Dakota bill doesn't offer any wall funding.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. An unusual social media post from a now ex-congressman in Texas gets mixed reactions.
Former Texas Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke Instagrams his visit to the dentist to talk about the U.S.-Mexico border.
So I'm here at the dentist, and we're going to continue our series on the people of the border.
He introduces his dental hygienist, Diana, seen pulling tools from his mouth. Diana says she was born in El Paso after her mother immigrated from Mexico, calling the region near the border a beautiful community. Critics calling the stunt gross, way too close up, one nicknaming it the Mueller investigation. The clip, one of several in an attempt to counter President Trump's characterizations of life at the border. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Recapping Wall Street, a strong finish after a day of fluctuation. Retail stocks taking a hit from disappointing holiday sales reports. Macy's shares down over 17%. But stocks turned higher later in the day as there was more reassurance from the Fed chief about having patience on the pace of further interest rate hikes. And again, at the close, the Dow up 122 points, back to 24K. Lisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Picture KFC's world-famous extra crispy chicken. Now, imagine it glistening in hot honey sauce. Just think about the crispy, sweet heat. Now, it's in your sights. Reach for it. Almost there. Oops, this is a KFC radio commercial. But you can make your picture a reality by getting a Hot Honey Tenders basket.
Also available in Hot Honey Chicken Family Meals. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
Security Title is honored to sponsor Ray Gibson on The Point. In 2019, we resolved to continue our mission of protecting and ensuring the land and homes of our beautiful island. Additionally, we resolved to maintain our vital connection to our families and our community. Protehi Itanomo, protect your land. When it comes to your family land, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 7 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Former two-term Governor Carl Gutierrez has landed a job with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. On The Point this morning, Guterres telling host Ray Gibson that he will be the chief advisor of economic development, national and international affairs. The formal announcement will be made later today, said the former governor. Guterres competed against Leon Guerrero for the Democratic nomination for governor in last year's election. However, he finished third in the four-way race behind former Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and Leon Guerrero herself. However, Guterres was quick to concede and publicly endorsed the Leon Guerrero Tenorio campaign. Following Leon Guerrero's victory in the November general election, Guterres was appointed as one of several senior advisors to the gubernatorial transition team. Richard Ibanez, acting director of the Department of Parks and Recreation, said he is working with acting BBMR director Lester Carlson to find the money to pay down the whopping $900,000 Parks and Rec owes to the Guam Waterworks Authority. Ibanez and Carlson paid a visit to the Agana swimming pool yesterday, which is blamed for about $500,000 of that $900,000 past due water bill. The Agana pool has been closed since November, and its water service was discontinued. Last month, former Parks and Rec Director Bill Regis blamed most of the bloated water bill on a leak in the piping at the pool. However, yesterday, Ibanez told the Guam Daily Post that the Guam Waterworks Authority found no leak at the pool. He said he believes that the problem may be with the infrastructure of the pool itself, whatever that means, but he also acknowledged that human error could not be ruled out. Ibanez said his goal is to reopen both the Dedido and Agana pools within the first 100 days, but the priority is getting the Dedido pool open first. It's been closed since September of 2017. The Dedido pool is waiting the arrival of a pump, which is expected to arrive later this month. He hopes the Dedido pool can be reopened within 2 to 3 weeks. We'll have more news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Agana at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dedido 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
10 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. Governor Leon Guerrero paid a visit to the Department of Administration yesterday, where she declared, if there is no money, we cannot spend. Leon Guerrero met with DOA Director Edward Byrne and the staff and management of the GovGuam agency that pays all the bills and issues all the paychecks to GovGuam employees. Leon Guerrero said she would be monitoring the government cash balance on a daily basis, and if there isn't enough money to provide for services, then we'll look at ways to increase that revenue, she said. Leon Guerrero also expressed confidence in the leadership at DOA, saying she decided to keep Edward Byrne on at the helm because he brings consistency and stability to the department. And she said Deputy Director Edith Pangilinan has a lot of experience in personnel management. Tina Muñoz Barnes said her priority during the next 2 years of her term as Speaker of the Guam Legislature will be to get laws that have already been passed implemented and not to pass new laws. Speaker Barnes told members of the Rotary Club of Guam yesterday that would be her central theme. She said, we are walking on economic eggshells, and tax revenues are desperately needed in our cash-strapped government. She cited a number of laws which, if enforced, could raise the revenue needed by GovGuam, including her own unimplemented bottle bill, which was meant to turn trash into cash, she said. Barnes said she would work with the Leon Guerrero administration to get that and other laws already on the books implemented and enforced. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or Pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Partly cloudy and breezy through Saturday with a maybe on some isolated showers, increasing clouds and showers by Sunday. Northeast winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing each evening. Highs near 88 degrees and much cooler overnight, obviously, and into the early morning hours. Sun will bring a little bit of additional heat, 6:46 tomorrow morning, and sunset tonight should be about 10 after 6. Still a high risk of rip currents along east-facing reefs through and beaches through tomorrow afternoon. Watch out for the Portuguese man-o-wars while you're out there as well. No radar imagery that we can show you right now, but I am able to put up the satellite imagery. And for the guy on Facebook Live who says, I can't find Guam on the map anywhere. Let me see if I can get this going here. I've experimented with it a little bit. There's a little bit more that I can do to it, but about where the arrow points is a pink dot, and that pink dot is Guam.
That works.
Works
that
for
works
you?
Good. Yeah, absolutely. As we can see, a little moisture coming in from the southeast. Not much with that moisture. It's associated with that bigger area that's down to the southeast. Those remnants of what was Tropical Depression 01W. It is still a tropical disturbance, but just a trophy one, so no big deal there.
Trophy.
Yeah, that's expected to pass to our south sometime in the late weekend to early next week time frame, which is why we do have a better chance for rain in the first 2 or 3 days of next week. And it's going to be kind of fighting it out with the push from the north. We'll see which one wins, but we're still getting those nice northeast winds, and it's very refreshing out there. It's good stuff.
All right, and so grill marks today, maybe tomorrow, probably not Sunday.
Yeah, not so much on Sunday, yeah.
Work through all of that. I'll just have to try to work through my schedule here at 7:13 in the morning. That's news and weather together right here on The Point.
Do you know someone who has difficulty following conversation in noisy places or turns up the TV a little too loud? These may be signs of a hearing loss. Ross Hearing Aids specializes in hearing evaluations, custom-fit hearing aids using the latest in wireless digital technology, and custom-fit hearing protectors. Call Ross Hearing Aids today to schedule a complimentary hearing consultation. 637-HEAR, 637-HEAR. Ross Hearing Aids, located across Shirley's in Harmon.
The Ray Gibson Show, the Friday edition, brought to you by King's Restaurant. 40 years, 50 years, they've been serving the people of Guam breakfast, lunch, dinner. Go get yours today in Harmon or tomorrow. Also brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your open heart surgical needs, and American President Lines. They're shipping the future. See that? I see that portions of the program also brought to you by my pals over at Wendy's. I'm looking to see in the Daily Post if they took out the ad with the picture of this gigantic junior bacon cheeseburger. It's already America's favorite junior bacon cheeseburger in the whole wide world. But what they did was they said, you know what, we can do better with this. So they doubled up the beef. They've doubled up the bacon. And the thing is just absolutely massive. Now, you would be you would be just fine if they charge you $5 for a burger that big with all the beef and all the bacon in it. You'd be just, that's cool. So what they did, they've got it. It's a $5 burger, but they throw in nuggets and fries and a soda. So you got the whole enchilada. Well, it's not an enchilada, but you know what I'm trying to say. They got this big, massive deal waiting on you over at the place that is Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, you're starting to talk like me. Using your hands.
That was the inspiration from Jerry Roberts, who was trying to show everyone. What do you mean? No.
Don't drag me into your problems.
Well, I'm just saying you're the one that was doing this the entire time. It's just
my question is, how big is it?
It's ginormous. It's gigantic. It's worth $5. That's a $5 junior bacon cheeseburger. But the point that I'm making is $5 you get the burger, and it's the, you remember what you were saying about Just? Just, yeah. So anybody else would have said, "Here's the burger, $5. Thanks very much for coming. Drive carefully and good night." But not Wendy's. They just over at Wendy's. So they just with the nuggets and the fries and a drink.
You know why?
Turn it into a meal.
Because it's owned by Just Espaldone.
There, you know what? Good point. Good point that you're making.
They should
extra.
They should come out with a ginormous bacon cheeseburger enchilada, though.
You know, now that I've said it on the air, they should. There should be an enchilada over at Wendy's. They have to work on that. We were talking about the weather position here just a second ago, and Joey Charfer is asking, is that a storm on Facebook Live? And the answer is it depends on what you're talking about. But I'll put the imagery back up there. So
there are no organized systems there. What we're seeing to our southwest, which is the lower and left of us, just low pressure area. All of this taking place on what's known as the near equatorial trough, and that exists down below 10 degrees north latitude this time of year. So you've got a little bit of low pressure spinning up to the southwest of us, and it's no big deal, not going to form into anything. And then the stuff down to the lower right of the picture, as you look at it here, that is the remnant of what was Tropical Depression 01W.
Yeah.
Now it's just an elongated area of low pressure, lots of convection going on there. It's not expected to develop either, but it is going to bring some of that moisture in early next week.
All right, so that's the answer on the question. Louis on the line had a comment about yesterday's weather. Good morning, Louis.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, hey, morning, guys. Yeah, I'm a day late in making this comment. You were talking yesterday about how cool the weather has been over the last several days, and at one point it was mentioned that the low point ever recorded on Guam, if I remember correctly, was 65 degrees. You know, Ray, if you remember back in 1975, in the third Sunday morning in January, there were reports that sometime between 3 and 3:45 in the morning in the northern part of the island, in the Jigo and Anderson area, that the temperature temporarily dropped to 53 degrees.
53?
I remember
I thought that was 59.
Yeah, I remember talking. That's what I heard. You know, I didn't talk to the meteorologist, but that's what was going around. I remember talking to a guy from Jigo who said he was scrambling for blankets that he never owned. He said it was that cold.
I never needed a blanket until
I'd
that
say
morning.
59 would be a stretch. 53, I just don't think so. It just that kind of air just cannot make it this far south.
Yeah, Well, you know, it once did rain and it once did snow in the lower parts of Hawaii. So I offer the possibility that the fact that something is incredibly improbable does not necessarily make it impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the snow.
Governor Lilian Guerrero. I mean, there you go, female governor of Guam. What might have been impossible or improbable before is now today's reality.
Yeah, I've not heard about snow in lower elevations of Hawaii. I know the mountains, Haleakala on Maui, and also Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea on the Big Island. They get snow almost
Regularly.
every winter. Yeah, so up on the top.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's another. You know, the problem is they've got a bunch of old timers in the room here, and you might be right. But somewhere somebody must have written something down in terms of what the absolute lowest point of weather was.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to call in. I want to see if there's any old timers listening, especially from the northern part of the island. Third Sunday in January 1975, between 3 and 3:45. I'll throw it on the table.
We'll see what we can find out for you, cuz. I'll see you.
Take care, guys.
I certainly will. Have a fantastic morning. I don't have a lot of recollection about that time, 1975. And
I was up making
cold.
hot chocolate at the time that he's talking about. No, I always heard it was 59. From numerous people over the years.
That was the low point.
To 59. Now, yeah.
So in the mid-70s somewhere.
Something.
Or
at some point.
It could be. Well, as I said, there's old-timers, people out there that are much older than me that have got memories of things like that and maybe even remember remarking to their friends that day about, gee, it was really cold this morning. Did you wake up? As I said, this is an interesting time of year for me as somebody that trains for things. I'm absolutely eating up this time of year with one exception. I love the temps. I love go out and run in the afternoon with my pals, and it's nice. It's 83, 82, something like that in the late afternoon. But it's windy, and so running towards Agana from the ITC building yesterday, what a dream. Running against the wind, absolute nightmare. And guys on bikes are probably feeling the same way. Jerry is on. Another Jerry is on with a comment on the temperature. Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
Well, you start with me. You got to say good morning to Kevin and Jerry Roberts and Mike as well.
Done.
It's too much for me, Ray. I'm sorry, I can't handle it. Had a rough Thursday night. Anyway, what was your point?
Well, the point is, I know we're all talking about very low temperature recordings, right? But if you remember a few years back in January, the temperature in broad daylight all day was 73 degrees. Do you remember that?
Just recently, I remember there have been a couple of days since I've been on the radio where, and you see more of it now because people have got these phones that have cameras in them, and they'll take pictures, their dashboard cameras, and show off what's going on. And it's very common to see them now 72, 73 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember that other time in the morning in January where the temperatures dipped to 67 and stayed there for a while. If you remember that too.
Not off the top of my head. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I certainly remember some rather cold mornings that we've had around this time of year. And I'm not ever going to complain. I'm glad that we're remarking about this kind of thing because this is absolutely the best time of year. Outdoor activities, the inauguration, we know now, as everybody had predicted, I mean, they couldn't rule out rain, but we knew it was going to be a fantastic day. And the inauguration day turned into a great event. If you were going to wear a three-piece suit outside during the day, that would have been the day to be doing that. Hey, Jerry, I gotta run. We gotta take care of some economic stuff, so I'm gonna let you go. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you chiming in this morning. We'll look at some numbers real quick. And in the very last seconds of the trading day at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, they were able to add just enough points to get them over 24,000. So the Dow closed today 24,001. 0.92 if you want to take it out a couple of digits. 24,001 is where the Dow is going to open tomorrow. NASDAQ at 69.86. They're up as well. And the S&P 500 closing at 25.96. They're up by 11 points. So that's good news. FTSE is going to open up. Nikkei is opening off by about 263 points. They're at 20,163. The Hang Seng is at 26,521. That's up. And the DAX is up as well. And take a look at some of the commodities here. Gold at $1,287. They're up by almost $5. And oil is, as Kevin Kerrigan, you might have heard him point this out. There are a couple of reasons why oil is going to be moving up. West Texas crude has, in fact, moved up there, $52.63, up by almost 20 cents. Not a lot to write home about, but it is moving in that direction. We're also seeing the same thing happen with Tapas. Just before New Year's, in fact, the Friday before New Year's, Tapas was trading at $53.52, and we were all excited and watched the price of gasoline on Guam go down by about 20 cents since then. The price of Tapas crude today trading at $62.44. So it's picked up $9 worth of value in just the last couple of weeks. What will the gas companies do with that information? I don't know. I'm loving $3.90 though. I don't know about you. Got a weekend coming up. I'm gonna put some gas in the car at $3.90 is where I'm headed.
Yep.
That's my plan now. 7:25 in the morning. So that's all the stuff that happened on the market. And as usual, as has become his practice now, Jerry Roberts is live in the studios of 93.3 The Point. Just can't stay away, huh?
For a while.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. Hey, Clayton's on the line. You know Clayton. Hey, buddy, how you doing there?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Is Home Depot? Wait a second. Is Home Depot open already?
Oh, yeah, I'm just coming back from Home Depot.
That is always the case with Clayton. What's going on?
Hey, so I'm one of those, unfortunately, characterized as one of those old guys who happen to live up north in the 70s. I remember on a few occasions, I actually had to turn the heater on in my car because it was cold.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have an air conditioner, but I did have a heater, and I had to use it. And, another gauge I have for, how the temperatures are, I at Lupin Cove, I have, chilled water systems, and we stage them according to the demand load. So yesterday, the entire day, I was running one chiller at 80%, which means I was cooling 208 apartments with the equivalent of 5,000 BTUs of air conditioning.
You're kidding.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, they're hyper efficient there, right?
And it was cold. I mean, my apartment was 71 degrees, you know, running at the equivalent of a 5,000 BTU air conditioner for a two-bedroom apartment. That's phenomenal, and it certainly saves me a lot of money because we burn a lot of power. But so, yeah, I like these cool temperatures. This is the favorite time of year. I love the breezes. I love the cool air, and I wish it would stay like this
all the time. That would be great. All right,
I could live with that.
I know what you mean. I got home yesterday afternoon and turned on the air conditioner, and I thought, what an idiot! Turn the air conditioner off and just open the doors and the windows, and that's what I ended up doing. 7:27. Of course, I get people passing by checking on me. It's like, hey, your doors are open. You realize you left the door open, right? On purpose, guys, because it's nice outside. 7:27, and we started up the Jerry Roberts Extra Point. Might as well get the whole thing going now, ladies and gentlemen.
Before you get to that, can I say something?
Yes.
The hiring of Carl Gutierrez was a masterstroke, I think. As to the economic.
I'm sure he'll agree.
I think he'll agree with that. And why is that? Because the guy's been a governor, and the guy's a negotiator. He's a deal maker. He doesn't need a bunch of suits in the room to figure out how to put a deal together. He can cut the deal himself. The only question I have is, how far will Lou let him go in making deals, or will he take a deal to some point and then bring it back home, and then, you know, she'll sit down and with the other people in the room and hammer it out and figure out the end of it?
That's the point of the question that I asked him. Where are the edges of your job?
Okay.
How much authority do you have to be able to cut these deals?
Because he knows how to make those deals, as he's made them before.
Yep.
So, I mean, he can take from start to finish and hammer it out, and he knows what he wants to do. He knows what the other person wants to do. He knows how much he's willing to give up to get it done, et cetera, et cetera. The question for a deal maker always has to ask, do I have to stop now and go back and get approval to do something, or do I have the authority to get it done?
I got a feeling that we're going to find out sooner than later. I've got the, you know, we're just a press release away, and maybe some staffing, and maybe an office, and some business cards, and watch him take on some of these issues, you know, and a lot of opportunities that are out there for issues, cockfighting among them, earned income tax credits.
Not just that. I mean, I'd send him to D.C. a few times too.
Oh, well,
and let him work out some deals up there.
There is the other question: is there going to be another shoe dropping? Is there going to be in that press release that says we're bringing Carl T.C. Gutierrez back to Adelup, and oh, by the way, you know, we're going to send Madeline back to D.C. But Kevin has been saying all along that in terms of a representative of the governor's office in D.C., Carl is a great pick.
That's where he's got a lot of connections. Yeah.
Those people there still.
But apparently he's going to do something else. We're wait and see, find out who that Washington rep is going to be.
You can do both of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put them on a plane, go back to D.C., cut a deal, come back home.
No, you can do the same, but we do the same thing with Madeline. Madeline, she knows her way around Washington D.C. and knows her way around a couple of deals as well.
Good job, Lou.
Ponderables as we make our way through Friday morning. 7:30, and Jerry Roberts with today's Extra Point, brought to you by Yuko Guma and the folks over at Guahan Insurance Services.
We cap off this week of our Change series with one that is going to appeal to a very, very few people. To appeal enough that they'll take action. Of the thousands tuned in at this moment, it could be 100, it could be 10, it could be less. But for somebody, maybe you, what's coming next just might be a launching pad to a new level in your career. I'm Jerry Roberts, and that's coming up on the Extra Point.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
You've likely heard of the Pareto principle, otherwise known as the 80-20 principle, where, in example, 20% of workers create 80% of your value, or 20% of your sales team makes 80% of sales, and on it goes. The numbers may not be exact, but it's clear there are people in every organization who are more invested in its success than are others, and the few may carry a larger share of the load to bring good results. Another number comes from the annual survey on worker engagement performed by the Gallup organization. In my training, I show leaders and managers that according to Gallup, only about 1 worker in 3, and I've seen it as low as 1 in 4, is seriously engaged with their job. Yes, others get work done, but their engagement lags well behind those who choose to do more and be more. So this means that when your CEO or GM or owner walks around the business, he or she may be unsure who's really connected and firing on all cylinders. They're looking for people to step up, and I talk to them about encouraging that. But today, I want to give you a way to help them to speed up the process. Now, you may say, oh, you're thinking about other places, not where I work. My boss has everything all together. No worries. Not looking for any particular help. If that's how you feel, you're likely wrong. The majority of top managers and business owners would half jump out of their skin if somebody walked up to them and said what I want you to say. Hi, boss. I just want you to know I totally buy into what you're doing. I'm all in all the way. If you need help with anything, you can count on me. Your boss may get excited or may just give a surprise smile and a sincere thank you. But I promise you this, in any case, I guarantee you, they won't forget about it. I have given every hair I used to have. Do you hear that? Because I was all in, all the way, and I worked hard to see that others felt the same way. And if somebody self-identified as a go-to person who could be counted on, I fell all over myself trying to make them feel appreciated. You walk into the boss's office and make that little 10-second speech, and you're serious about it, you might just rock their world. And then they might just rock yours by taking you up on it. And who knows where that could lead. So few people will follow through and do this. The vast majority are just fine with the status quo. But the vast majority rarely go all in, all the way, on anything. As I sat up last night writing today's program, I was thinking about who it would reach, who is tired of how things are, who would be ready to step up, reach high, and go after more. Was I thinking about you? That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today for 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and Guahan Insurance Services. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Well, that's a good one. Now, what is it that you want the employees to say? Say that out loud again? Because there's somebody that was inspired by that.
Okay. Hi, boss. I just want you to know I totally buy into what you're doing. I'm all in, all the way. If you need help with anything, you can count on me. And it's already up on the website.
Nice. What episode number?
223.
734?
I'm sorry, 233.
It's still 734. Headlines next. From the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, a man who attempted to smuggle nearly a pound of methamphetamine into Guam inside his wheelchair will spend 5 years and 3 months in a federal prison. 35-year-old Eric Vincent Morta Benavente is a paraplegic who suffers from a number of health issues. He was arrested at the airport on October 15th of 2017 after arriving on a flight from Narita. Assistant U.S. Attorney Belinda Alcantara yesterday sought a tougher sentence of up to 7 years, saying Benavente used his disability to conceal and manipulate the truth. However, defense attorney Leilani Lujan asked for leniency, saying Benavente was a nonviolent first-time offender who has been making progress overcoming his drug addiction. Benavente told the court he was sorry, and he said he understood there are consequences that he will now have to face. A couple that faced 2 drug trials, both of which ended in hung juries, will now be tried a third time, but this time in California instead of Guam. The U.S. Attorney's Office in California has issued an arrest warrant for Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier. Martinez and Mosier, both accused of money laundering and conspiring to distribute methamphetamine in connection with an alleged plot to bring 8 pounds of crystal meth from California to Guam back in 2015. The key witness against the couple In the two previous mistrials was former Guam Customs Lieutenant Henry Alvandia, who cooperated with federal authorities as part of a plea deal in the bribery charges that he faced. However, in each trial, the defense attacked Alvandia's credibility, contending that Martinez and Mosier were entrapped and that the drugs were planted. A 31-year-old man is behind bars after allegedly threatening to destroy two public schools in an effort to reach a woman known to him. John Daniel Nago, also under a restraining order to stay away from that woman. According to court documents, staff at Benavente Elementary School called police last month after Nago called the school and demanded to speak with one of the teachers and threatened to burn down the school after staff told him that the teacher wasn't available. He also allegedly called Finnegadjian Elementary and told the staff there that they better watch out because he was going to blow the school up. Nago admitted to calling Benavente and Finnegadjian schools but denied making threats to bomb or burn the school down, according to the court documents. Nago is now facing charges of terroristic conduct, attempted violation of a court order, among other allegations. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 7:37. That's iConnect time. Swing by iConnect near you and ask them about what your telecom situation is going to be like in 2019 with the great plans that they have for push to talk and internet and mobile plans. Call them at 888-8888.
Insurance doesn't have to be another budget buster. Nambo Insurance has reasons for you to celebrate this new year. With Nambo Insurance Bundle Up Plan, you can save big. Bundle up your home, auto, or motorcycle insurance and save up to 50% off. Start off this new year with great savings from Nambo. Hurry and visit our two locations in ITC Building in Tumanin and our new Nambo Building in Hagåtña. Call us at 477-9754 or visit us at nambo.com. From our Nambo familia to yours, we wish you all a happy new year.
Well, isn't that nice? 7:38, taking a look at right now traffic. The Gizmo here is reporting that we might have some slowdowns around the front end of Anderson Air Force Base. Then southbound traffic on Marine Corps Drive as you make your way towards Waisangsong, also beginning to slow down right now. A lot of traffic seems to be in front of the GRMC intersection there at 3 and 1, but things actually looking pretty good around the school areas. Not a whole lot going on the rest of the roadways here. Looking at Route 10 seems to be clear. A little bit of traffic on both ends of Route 8 at the intersection of 8, 10, and 16, and a little bit of traffic at the intersection between 10 and 15. Not much going on Route 4 getting into the downtown Hagåtña area. Shouldn't be a problem. Nothing major in front of the Navy Hospital. And making your way down to Big Navy in Sumai is looking pretty good right now. At 7:38, that's right now traffic on the point.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
The radio this morning. I see Kenny Williams online. It's one of my favorite bug busters out there. Henry Gonzalez, Bob Kelly on the road right now. We might end up talking with Bob before too much longer about the next gen 911 system. I mean, more discussion on that in the last 48 hours. I see General Marcus Reynolds is there. Lynn Vince Borja Polino, Craig Karabrock from FHP and Take Care this morning. Richard Ibanez is online. Richard is the guy that has inherited the problems of the Department of Parks and Recreation. Probably the most meaningful one is the lack of water in the Hagåtña swimming pool, and that seems to have just a bag of question marks around it, and we cannot, for whatever, seem to get to the ground on exactly what happened with the invoices from Guam Waterworks Authority that went down there and then were subsequently not paid to the tune of about $500,000.
900,000
for all of DPR, but
and $500,000.
$500,000 just for the Hagåtña swimming pool. Yeah. So what kind of leakage do they have down there where they've got a problem with that much water?
There was no leak.
Says GWA, right?
And Yeah, that's also what Bill Rages said last night.
Yeah. So now the story that you read, it talks about infrastructure, quote, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever.
Where'd that come from? Who said that? Was it that? Is whatever that means? You know, it's that you want to talk about your hazards here.
If it's not a leak and it's infrastructure, then what kind
other
of infrastructure problem could cause?
Unless they were purposely letting the water out. You know what we can't. Maybe there was a problem with the filtration system, and instead of if the filter system didn't work, maybe they were pumping out water before it got green and then replacing it with new water.
And I thought it was very interesting. Simon said when he talked to you a little while ago that they're not going to turn the water back on until that bill is paid.
Yeah, well, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, the bond covenants, they're not supposed to give away the service for absolutely free. So it's just a strange thing. So, juxtapose that with a conversation, a high-flying, a pie-in-the-sky conversation with former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, whose new title now with this administration is Chief Advisor for Economic Development and National and International Affairs. That's a big job description, if you ask me. There's going to be a whole lot of opportunities, and it just seems to me that virtually national and international affairs, virtually every issue that comes up is something that he might be able to get himself into. So this will be interesting to see as you have a couple of strong personalities, a couple of real bright people in Adelup, one in the form of Lulian Guerrero and the other in the form of Carl T.C. Gutierrez. I'm not saying that there are opportunities for friction. There's opportunities for friction everywhere, but it will be interesting to see what some of those solutions are. Bob Kelly, Marcus Reynolds, Lynn Vince Borpolino, who else am I missing? Lady D is online. Mo Cotton, good to see Letitia Lujan, Lynn Perez, Bobby Sharingi, Yuko Guma, Mona Silva. Hey, I know her. Evan Munt-Volcone is on. Pete Guerrero and Melissa Salas Akimoto. Former Governor Gutierrez is online right now listening to us talk about him. Joey Tapfris, Dave Evans. Was there singing in the sunset last night over at Santa Fe, buddy? Ed, Karen Untalon, and Carlos Barreto. There's Tom Tahazi, Carl with a K, Pangolinan, Vivian Sablan, LZ, Joe Lea Sealangi, and Neitz. And Terry DeBold and Paul. Boy, everybody's. Look, if you're not listening to this program, you are missing out here. Chuck Tanner, just look at all the people we get to hang out with and play with this morning. And we get them on the phone as well. Senator Jimmy Moylan is online, and Jimmy has made it a pretty quick practice of lobbing in a bunch of new legislative pieces for his colleagues in the 35th Guam legislature. If I do this right, I'll actually be able to get a picture of Jimmy online holding an image of his new bill, and what is that? A Guam seal. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Ray. Yeah, we're busy.
It seemed all right. Now, are you going to be able to sustain this pace? We're talking about, 4 pieces of legislation in just the first week of this new term.
That's right. Bill 9, 10, 11, and now Bill 1635. Sustain the pace? Absolutely. It's a marathon, but, we were prepared. We did a tough campaign, so we were running there, and we're going to keep on running. Let's go for it, Ray. Let's go for it. We can do this.
I don't see why not. I haven't seen anything yet that I have looked at kind of sideways and says, I wonder what Jimmy's thinking on this particular one. So we've got the measure that will eliminate the increase in the liquid fuels tax. We've got another one here that would provide for a rollback in the business privilege taxes. Now I thought it was the beginning of the next fiscal year. When would those take place?
That's correct. Fiscal year 20, not this fiscal year at all, because those monies were already dedicated and projected to go in place. So no, it's not going to happen FY19. It's FY20. So that gives us time to work on programs to reduce these taxes, and I want to work with the governor absolutely on that. So, and that's why we're putting it off until FY20. But we need to give a deadline. So these taxes, it says indefinite, which I disagree with. With a deadline, then we can shoot for a goal, and that's what the whole plan is. And FY20.
Well, it looks like the other object of the game here is to make things as easy as possible for new businesses. The first piece of legislation, and I'm delighted that it has bipartisan support, would provide for the increase in the Dave Santos amendment that would free up many small businesses from the requirement to pay taxes on, what is it, the first $50,000 they make a year?
Right. Moving that up to $250,000. Yes, I'm a co-sponsor with Senator Lee on that. I was very pleased that she did ask me to work with her on this. And it all goes back to small businesses, and which is my main objective. That bill number one is a great benefit if we can get this into law. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad to be a co-sponsor with Senator Lee.
All right, and I was looking at the legislation that you introduced yesterday, and this is another one that should be of a lot of interest. Now, I was talking with my friend Samantha Titano yesterday, and she works with a group called Maniello, and they are working with Opaque, which is a kind of a urban design, closed ball caps, that kind of thing. And in fact, there's an article in one of the newspapers about their grand opening that's going to be taking place here soon for the Opaque store. And it seems to me that these guys are coming up with ideas, maybe not manufactured here to a degree, some of the base stuff, but certainly in my mind qualifying for a local business. How do we ensure that the local businesses like this can take advantage of the Guam SEAL program?
That's it. That's terrific, and I'm glad they are doing that. And it is for the small business. We want to incentivize them to promote the Guam Product Seal and give them a tax exception by doing that. So by incentivizing the small business guys, then we're also promoting our seal and what Guam is all about. We're looking at $1,000 to start off with. But they have to follow the rules, and we want to get there's certain things in place to make sure this is done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to take their talents, right, into that small business, give them a discount by using the product seal, and they need to purchase their permit. And in order to have a permit to use the product seal, you also must have a business license, too. So whether it be they're doing their seals on Sanahis, or they're doing their seals with jams, or wood carvings, or the Opaque, which you mentioned, as long as it has the product seal on it and they're permitted, or they have a permit rather, their business license, well, that's going to generate income for them. It's going to give them a discount, but it's also going to create more taxes, and that's what we need to generate the revenue for our island, incentivizing the small business folks to work and promote the island. And that's what Bill number 1635 is all about, using the Guam seal, incentivizing the small business, and getting $1,000 off as long as you have your permit and your business license.
Right. So that is the big deal here is get your product, get your seal, get your business license, and if you pass all of the rules and requirements to be able to get the Guam product seal, you can take $1,000 off your taxes.
Right. Let's say, for example, you're doing great. You're building your business. You're doing Sanahis, right? And you're so wonderful on it, and it's really growing. Maybe you make $75,000 in sales, and then if you file your taxes, you're looking at just under $4,000 if you file your taxes, or $3,750. The incentive will be reduced by, instead of $3,750, you'll now be paying $2,750. So that's a savings, right? For you.
Sounds like a saving to me, yeah.
Yes. And then likewise, the De Santos Act, you add that on if you're making less than $50,000, right, for 2019. The first 40 is exempt, so you got to pay just under $10,000, and that means you're going to have to pay $500 in taxes. But if you're using the product seal and you got this exemption, basically you pay nothing in taxes.
Yeah.
And you grew your business, and so you can put more money back into your business, or you can hire an employee. Or expand, open up another shop, for example.
Or carry another line, make a different kind of Sanahi.
Yes, right.
Yeah, make Sanahis for white people so we don't look like posers when we wear them. How's that?
I'm waiting for that one.
Right? You ever see that? Hey, excuse me. Didn't look right on you for some reason. Or you get the really, really big ones. You ever get these guys like the little Sanahi wars? You get my Sanahi is bigger than yours. You get these guys look like they're weighed down, like they ought to be carrying it in a wheelbarrow or something like that.
Exactly.
But I get the incentive. There's also an opportunity to put more money into the Guam SEAL program here. GITA shall appropriate at least 20% of the Guam Product SEAL fund annually towards the promotion of the Guam Product SEAL tax exemption program. So you're requiring now, Melanie, over at GITA, where does that money come from?
That's coming from the incentive. We're looking at the taxes that we're growing for this program itself. So it's all it's all built in. It's all built in there, Ray.
Okay. All right. I think I got a better sense of where this is going to be headed. Bill 16, he says, certainly encourages talented folks to convert their talents into a small business, attain a permit, qualify for the incentive, and create financial independence. Baby steps in increasing the tax base, but it's interesting. It's important that we actually take those baby steps. That's Bobby Schringy wrote that. You might know him.
Yes, I do.
I thought that would be the case here. 7:51. Hey, listen, Jimmy, you have a good weekend dreaming up some ideas for the legislature.
Looking forward to more great stuff coming on down the line. Happy Friday, Guam, and enjoy your weekend, Ray.
I intend to, buddy. There could be some grill marks in our future. 7:51 and change, and so that's among the last of the big deals over at the legislature for this week that I know of. They are going into session tomorrow, but it is not going to be a work session. They're going to be working on the state funeral for Uncle Ben. Mayor Gumatautau's state funeral is going to take place over at the legislature tomorrow. So they will gavel in and gavel themselves out, I think, after all of that is taken care of over in that place there. And we'll say goodbye to one of my favorite characters of growing up on Guam was Vicente Ben Gumatautau. And there's all kinds of great stories floating around. And it is possible that many of those great stories will be heard when you find your way over to the state funeral tomorrow. And hope to get a hold of Bob Kelly, probably not this hour, maybe on the next hour. We'll spend some time talking to him. Bob, as you know, is one of my technical go-to guys. Important when it comes to dealing with the federal government and compliance issues that all broadcasters have with the Federal Communications Commission, telecom, and things like that. But he is also, I believe, one of the only people, if not the only person on Guam that has maintained certification in the 911 system. There are times, in fact, once a year, I think he goes off for some kind of a recertification trip to the States where they have workshops and programs on what the 911 systems are capable of doing now, what the enhancements are being talked about into the future. And so he's the guy that comes from Guam, and they say, hey, what kind of 911 system do you have over there? And he said, we have the one where we have 911 and people answer the phone. What does it do? We have the one where you call 911 on your phone, and then somebody on the other side will answer it, and then call the fire department or the police department and tell them that you're in trouble. That's the kind that we have. But there are some high-tech, gee whiz 911 systems that are out there. There was the E911 system, which is the transitional one. The one that we're looking for is the next generation 911 system and computer-aided dispatch system. And they have finally gotten to a point, and the last time I talked to Bob, I thought he said that they had suspended this. But there is an RFP in one of the newspapers this morning, GFD 001-2019, signifying this is the first of the big RFPs that the fire department is putting out. Guam Fire Department is soliciting proposals from qualified and interested offerers for the design, installation, operation, and maintenance of a next-generation 911 system and integrated CAD, that's computer-aided dispatch system. And then it goes on to say copies of the solicitation will be available starting today at the fire department. And I want to say there's someplace on the World Wide Web that you'll be able to see what the solicitation is going to look like as well. This is the next logical step in a process that actually began at the fire department, went on because of the size of the proposal here and the size of the purchase they're making. Apparently, had to get blessed by the Attorney General's office. I know that was done prior to the inauguration of Levin Camacho. So now that has happened, it opens the way, paves the way for the fire department to go ahead and put out the solicitation for an actual next-gen 911 system and computer-aided dispatch system. Now, the question that I have had and have asked Joey St. Nicholas, Chief Joey St. Nicholas, about this on numerous occasions in the past is, how are we going to pay for it? Because it seems to me that there were funds in the 911 system, and they got snuck out. Somebody snuck it out and put it somewhere else.
Once again, I'm left kind of shaking my head. Maybe I misunderstood what you said. I must ask, was there a problem with the RFP for the system that the AG had to get involved? Or is that just a normal procedure? And if it's normal, why is the AG getting involved in government business? I mean, that's not their realm.
So the way it works here is that we've screwed up procurement at so many different levels,
right.
And so like building high schools. And things like that. So we've gotten the procurement so cocked up that I think the legislature a few years ago made a bill that said any procurement over X dollars needs to be taken over to the Attorney General's office and reviewed for content and style.
Wow, just another layer to slow things down. You know, I think,
and it did.
Yeah, I think that sort of thing should be repealed in terms of
we're not,
that. Just
but the
with,
thing is,
the
idea was the concept is it'll be cheap insurance because if it's blessed by the Attorney General's office, it's less likely to be protested. And once we've got a successful bid going, we don't necessarily have to worry that there's going to be a competitor that came out and said, no, you took missteps. That's the idea, because the history of Guam and almost all of our major controversies have involved and delays in getting things. I'll give you one here. You want to talk about the buses? Yeah. There was a time when the mass transit system was literally being operated 1 month by one company and another month by a different company. Because that was the way they split the baby in that one. Is they couldn't, they're having such a hard time addressing the procurement and the complaints back and forth with each other. They just said this month it'll be Kevin's bus company and the next month it'll be Mike's bus company. And the way the system worked was you could call in on Friday before the end of the month and make a reservation to get picked up on Monday, the beginning of the next month. But that reservation might not always be translated to the new company. So you'd be sitting around on a Monday going, I'm waiting for the bus, and it may never come because it's a whole different company this month.
Yeah, it seems like it would have been simpler just to create a blanket organization and have both of those companies participate equally. You would think. But that's how they did it. One company, one month it was the Limtiaco family, and the next month it was the Kloppenberg family. Earlier, talking about strange and cold weather, got this on the WhatsApp. Ray, you were talking about cold weather. My friend lives in Alaska. Here's her temperatures from yesterday, and let me see if I can put that up on the big screen here on Facebook Live, where you might be able to make out the temperature on the dashboard of the car that says minus 36 degrees. It should be noted that both Celsius and Fahrenheit, they kind of cross at about that low level, so it's about the same either way.
Yeah, it is bitter, oh my God, cold. So any of these cool conversations we've been having about, hey, did you remember when it was January of 1975 and it was cold at Mount Santa Rosa and Jigo? Yeah, but we don't know cold here. This is a completely abstract number to most people that are born and raised on Guam, unless you've been to this part of Alaska where this guy's friend is at. You just have no concept as to just how cold minus 36 degrees can be. Closest thing I've been to that recently was January 1st last year. I was in North Carolina, and my baby sister Rebecca and I went for a run, a New Year's morning run, and it was 12. Wow. And I had layers and layers and layers of clothes on me, and the thing that you learn real quick when you're running in temps like that is you get hot pretty quick, and so I had to left layers of clothes on the trail, pretty much like Hansel and Gretel with breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? Hey, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, or really close to it. The radio station is KUSG Hagutnya 93.3 The Point. We got sports with Blake and Mike, and I will pretend to talk about sports. Fox News Live, and in between all of that, Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all the big stories from today's Guam Daily Post. Stand by now for Fox News Live.
The president calls it common sense. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, visiting the southern border in Texas to make his case that a wall is necessary.
We can declare a national emergency. We shouldn't have to.
Accusing Democrats again of being more concerned with the 2020 presidential race than national security.
And it's not about an argument. It's not about politics for me. It's about doing the right thing. I mean, I could do a lot easier things. I could just forget this like everyone else did.
Democrats say they do want border security, but that it isn't the crisis the president makes it out to be. And as the finger pointing continues on day 20 of a partial government shutdown.
I have never been more depressed about moving forward them right now. I just don't see a pathway forward.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, though there have been some negotiations.
We've learned lawmakers are talking about the possibility of trading border wall money for a temporary DACA fix that would offer relief to illegals brought to the country as children, but would not offer a pathway to citizenship. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today revealed she might possibly be open to some sort of a DACA deal, but she is still a hard no on a border wall, and she is taunting Republican colleagues for digging in.
To take an oath to the Constitution or an oath to Donald Trump.
So the government remains shut down, but most lawmakers have already gone home for the weekend.
Fox's Peter Ducey on the Hill. The House passing a string of standalone spending bills that the Senate Republican leader won't bring up for a vote because they wouldn't be signed by the president. The president's former attorney, Michael Cohen, agrees to publicly testify to Congress before he goes to prison for lying to Congress about the timing of an abandoned business deal in Moscow. Democrats also want to ask him about his other guilty plea for hush money payments to women during the 2016 campaign. President Trump's current attorney, Rudy Giuliani, calls Cohen a thoroughly discredited liar. This is Fox News.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo continuing a Mideast trip and stirring some controversy in Egypt.
Pompeo began by bashing President Obama's 2009 speech in Cairo, directly calling out the former president for his statements on 9/11 and the Muslim world, as well as Obama's engagement with Iran. In his remarks, Pompeo laid out the Trump administration's vision for countering Iranian influence in the Middle East, talking about the U.S. sanctions campaign against Iran and U.S. support for the Iranian people.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Jerusalem. Pompeo also trying to reassure allies that pulling U.S. troops out of Syria will not mean pulling out of the region or pulling out of the fight against ISIS. Lady Gaga is distancing herself from a song she performed with R. Kelly in 2013 amid renewed scrutiny of allegations against R. Kelly.
The singer and actress apologized and spoke out in support of all the women who have accused the singer of sexual assault. The 32-year-old's Do What You Want With My Body with R. Kelly is a song that she said was made during a dark time in her life. Posting on Twitter, she vowed to remove the song from streaming services to support the women who've spoken out against Kelly in the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, adding, "I stand behind these women 1,000%, mentioning the sexual assault she suffered early in her career. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
R. Kelly has long denied any wrongdoing. An Illinois prosecutor is making a public appeal for accusers and witnesses to come forward. No host for the Oscars. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences says there will not be a replacement for comedian Kevin Hart, who dropped out as host after a backlash over past homophobic tweets resurfaced. Organizers say they'll use a lot of music and skits to fill the void, and this isn't the first time. There was no Oscar host in 1989. Wall Street puts a winning streak together. The Dow up 123, back over 24K today. Lisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Insurance doesn't have to be another budget buster. NAMBO Insurance has reasons for you to celebrate this new year. With NAMBO Insurance Bundle Up Plan, you can save big. Bundle up your home, auto, or motorcycle insurance and save up to 50% off. Start off this new year with great savings from NAMBO. Hurry and visit our 2 locations in ITC Building in Tumanin and our new NAMBO Building in Hagåtña. Call us at 477-9754 or visit us at NAMBO.com. From our NAMBO familia to yours, we wish you all a happy new year.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 8 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Richard Ibanez, acting director of the Department of Parks and Recreation, said he's working with acting BBMR director Lester Carlson to find the money to pay down the whopping $900,000 Parks and Rec owes to the Guam Waterworks Authority. Ibanez and Carlson paid a visit to the Hagåtña swimming pool yesterday, which is blamed for $500,000 of that $900,000 past due water bill. The Hagåtña pool has been closed since November and its water service discontinued. CCU Commissioner Simon Sanchez on The Point this morning said the water won't be turned back on at the Hagåtña pool until the bill is paid. Last month, former Parks and Rec Director Bill Regis blamed most of the bloated water bill on a leak in the piping at the Hagåtña pool. But yesterday, Ibanez told the Guam Daily Post that the Guam Waterworks Authority found no leak at the Hagåtña pool. However, he acknowledged that human error couldn't be ruled out. Ibanez said his goal is to reopen both the Dededo and Hagåtña pools within the first 100 days of this new administration, but the priority is getting the Dededo pool open first. It's been closed since September 2017. The Dededo pool is awaiting the arrival of a pump, which is expected to come in later this month. Ibanez hopes the Dededo pool can be reopened within 2 to 3 weeks. Former 2-term Governor Carl Gutierrez has landed a job with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. On The Point this morning, Gutierrez telling host Ray Gibson that he will be the chief advisor of economic development, national and international affairs. The formal announcement will be made later today, said Gutierrez. The former governor competed against Leon Guerrero for the Democratic nomination for governor in last year's election. He finished third in the four-way race behind former Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and Leon Guerrero herself. However, Gutierrez was quick to concede and publicly endorse the Leon Guerrero Tenorio campaign. And following Leon Guerrero's victory in the November general election, Gutierrez was appointed as one of several senior advisors to the gubernatorial transition team. We'll have more news after this.
Docomo Pacific is making the Better Together bundle even better. 2 great services plus more. Get unlimited local calls, SMS, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet for $109 a month. Sign up today and get free installation and choose between a free Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or $100 off select devices. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tumanin. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero paid a visit to the Department of Administration yesterday, where she declared if there is no money, we cannot spend. Leon Guerrero met with DOA Director Edward Byrne and the staff of the GovGuam agency that pays all of the government's bills and issues all paychecks to GovGuam employees. Leon Guerrero said she would be monitoring the government cash balance on a daily basis, and if there is not enough money to provide for services, then she said we'll look at ways to increase that revenue. Leon Guerrero also expressed confidence in the leadership at DOA, saying she decided to keep Edward Byrne at the helm because he brings consistency and stability to the department. And she said Deputy Director Edith Pangilinan has a lot of experience in personnel management. The newly elected commissioners of the Consolidated Commission on Utilities took their oaths of office yesterday at the Public Service Building in Manila. Incumbents Simon Sanchez, Francis Santos, and newly elected Commissioner Mike Limtiaco joined current commissioners Joey Duenas and Judy Gutherts. Duenas will retain his seat as chairman, while Santos will serve as vice chairman. Limtiaco will act as secretary, and Gutherts will serve as treasurer. The CCU also said goodbye to former Commissioner George Bamba, whose term expired last year, but he did not seek re-election due to family and personnel reasons. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
I got you. Thanks very much here. It's 8:11 in the morning. Partly cloudy skies this weekend and breezy through tomorrow with a slight chance for isolated showers. Increasing clouds and showers on Sunday. There's northeast winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing each evening. Highs about 88 degrees and lows 77. Sunset tonight, 6:10. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:46. There's a high risk of rip currents along east-facing beaches through tomorrow afternoon, as well as pit bull sharks that... It's a new thing out there. We got the Portuguese man of war and shark pit bulls.
Wow. Somehow
I just stay out of the water. Just stay on the beach and drink beer and look at bikinis.
Can we train the pit bull sharks to reel in the man of war?
Well, I don't know, but an interesting concept, and maybe something that ought to be looked at is, in my mind, it's a way. I see these pictures that Jeff Pleadwell and a bunch of other people are posting of these dead man of war on the beach.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's something that we can do with that. I hate to waste them. Can we eat them?
That would be nice.
Is there a recipe for something like that? I mean, is there some great Asian recipe that we can put together? A little bit of soy sauce and some ginger, rice wine vinegar, etc., and just turn this into something that we might be able to turn into a seasonal delicacy, if you will.
I think you probably could. You just have to make sure you keep Benadryl handy.
You know what? There's some meals you want to have Benadryl handy
anyway,
just anyway. Why not? In some restaurants where you eat at, if public health hasn't gotten to them, you should have some Benadryl.
Yeah, that
and
So's chicken can really kick you.
I'm just saying. Time to take a look at. Do I have the thing up? I've got that one. Now I got to put this one up here so everybody can get a sense of just where Guam is on the map here and see the blobbage down south and to the east and west of us. So I've put the Guam here pointer.
There you go, and that's where we are. And as you can see, we're kind of in between a couple of those systems, but they're down south in the near equatorial trough, and they should stay down there. The one to the southwest just going to kind of meander over into the Philippines, give Mindanao and the southern Visayas some rain. And this one to our southeast, those are the remnants of what was Tropical Depression 01W. It is still a tropical disturbance, but really nothing more than a trough. You can see some clouds approaching us, but they're kind of fizzling out as they get here because there's just too much dry air and high pressure over where we are right now. Hopefully that will win out in this battle that's going to take place this weekend. Some of these showers, though, are expected to get close enough to us to give us a little wet stuff starting Sunday and into early parts of next week.
All right, so if you're in the mood for grill marks, try to get them either today or early tomorrow because we're going to start to see some of that choppy stuff move in over the next couple of days. All right, so click that off, click this on, and then I can say that's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where some put branches, they place roots.
Do you know someone who has difficulty following conversation in noisy places or turns up the TV a little too loud? These may be signs of a hearing loss. Ross Hearing Aids specializes in hearing evaluations, custom-fit hearing aids using the latest in wireless digital technology, and custom-fit hearing protectors. Call Ross Hearing Aids today to schedule a complimentary hearing consultation. 637-HEAR, 637-HEAR. Ross Hearing Aids, located across Shirley's in Harmon.
I got 8:15 in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show, brought to you by King's Restaurant. For decades, they've been serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner for people all over the place. So if you are a human being with a mouth and a stomach and would like to get some breakfast, lunch, and dinners, find a King's Restaurant in Harmon and Tamuning. Also brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs. Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better choice, a better time to go solar. And APL, they're shipping the future.
Are you not getting paid what you're worth? or not reaching your full potential at your job? If you're pioneering, adventurous, competitive, love talking to people, and want to earn $100,000 per year, sell cars on U.S. military bases with Military Auto Source. Start on Guam, stay on Guam, or move to Japan or Korea. To see if you qualify, visit MASEastasiarecruiting.com. Military Auto Source, helping you reach your full potential.
Have you tried the cheese steak sandwiches over at Subway? My guess is you have. Yeah, you probably go, yeah, I had that. It was good. I'm going to maybe get another one. Let me give you a little bit more inspiration to go and get another one over at Subway. They've got flavor. They've enhanced it. It was already a pretty good cheese steak to begin with, but they put this Southwest chipotle sauce on it, and now it's, oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's good. You really should think about trying it. 14 different Subway locations on Guam. Get your hands around one today.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Let me see now. I got to take care of a birthday here. My friend Ronnie's best friend, Mary Sula Bulala, is celebrating her birthday today. Don't have any numbers on that, but it is one of those things that is going to be cause for celebration. Maybe the entire weekend. So if you know Mary Sula Bulala, just FYI, this is her weekend now. It's the birthday weekend.
Okay.
Yep. So,
where we come from, you don't ask a lady her age.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. Around here, I've most of the time I find people volunteering it.
Yeah.
Yes, I got another friend. She's turning 40 this year.
Oh, okay.
And she's really excited about turning 40. Number one, because she didn't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. But number two, you know, it's one of those, you know, it's one of those decades, right? It's got a zero at the end of it, a number with a zero. Yeah. And so she literally wants I was talking about Mary and this being her birthday weekend. Well, my friend that's turning 40 wants it to be the birthday month. So there are all kinds of plans being put in place now for a different variety of partying situations, some of which may or may not involve trips to the emergency room or visits from the police. But you know, it's important to plan out for those kinds of things.
You know, it's not fun until someone bleeds.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, it's not a party until somebody bleeds.
Not a party until now, which 80s movie is that from? Not a party until something's broken. Oh, this is nice. I'm getting confirmation that another friend of mine is going to be buddying up tomorrow to run the Guam International Airport 5K.
Oh.
Wait,
when is that? That's tomorrow morning. Okay.
Yes.
Is this weather supposed to affect that?
Oh,
is this weather?
It'd be perfect. Oh my God! It'd be like
Meaning,
running.
is this weather?
It'd be like running in air conditioning.
Yeah, it'll be good. No, the rain, any rain that's coming in, will probably wait until about Sunday.
And I know you probably went over it, but it's here for the weekend. This shear line rain, whatever we got.
Well, the rain actually is going to kind of peter out over today, and so we've got some clouds coming over.
Yeah.
But the rain is really supposed to hold back until about Sunday or Monday. So any significant, but you know, we're on Guam. We can always get a chance.
Okay, I just want a rainy Sunday morning while I'm watching my football to make it feel like a winter morning. You know, to make it feel like a real winter football morning. That's why I'm asking.
I think it's gonna be perfect. Last weekend's race, the 10-miler down on Cross Island Road, I could not have asked for a better morning. I mean, it started off a little bit with a little bit crisp rain that fell, and there was a nice cool breeze over the runners most of the morning. And it was like I said, it was like running in an air-conditioned gym.
Yeah, I thought about you that morning because I was up early. Much like you,
about me every morning.
Well, much like this morning, I was up. I pulled a Mike Knight. I was up at about 3:09. And then I was just like, you know what? This is it.
So, but what did you do to your truck now?
You know, my truck just did it to me.
I almost bring the gun to the door.
We had an eventful morning.
Yeah, at the back door. There's knocking at the back door of the radio station at 5:30 in the morning. There's never knocking at the back door at 5:30 in the morning. And
Pitch dark.
I'm in my mind. I'm going. There's some drunk guy that got lost in the back part of our parking lot and needs to find his way to the front part of the parking lot. So one of us has to go and check the door. And since I'm senior management around here, I took it upon myself. So open the door, and it's Blake. And my first instinct is somebody pulled an all-nighter at the bar.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm knocking on the door.
Yeah, that's when I noticed that couldn't be possible. It was just a little too bright out for that.
The front door was open.
So, no, what happened was, I don't know.
That's right. The front door was open.
No, I don't know what happened. I went out, and luckily, I was up, like I said, I was up for, since 3 a.m., so I had plenty of time to catch it. So I went, just to go start up my truck. To get everything ready to leave the house, and there was no power at all. Like, it didn't even give me the battery dead, click, click, click. It didn't give me anything. Wow. So, and it's had issues with that the last month or so. So I think maybe a sensor's out, maybe some kind of fuse box has got a short in it. So luckily, Mrs. Sports is still on leave, with new baby. Right. So it was a quick fix. I just went and, grabbed her keys, told her I was taking her car, and, came to work. But the thing is, all of my building keys are on my keychain, which I left. So that's why I didn't have any keys to get in this morning.
Yeah, so one of those is just weird kind of, because this is a radio station, there's all kinds of weirdness that's capable of happening. Well, I got the birthday thing out. Marianne Biscoe Chrysostomo is celebrating a birthday today, so is Stephen Lefevre, Danielle Lee, and Daniel Hunter.
Also, shout out my good friend Maneka Dioro having a birthday today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I know her. Yeah.
Maneka having a birthday today.
We're going to throw a race for her tomorrow at the airport.
Oh, yeah?
For her birthday. It'll be perfect.
There you go.
So if you were going to be running that race, I don't think they've changed the course in the last couple of years. The last time I rode that course, it starts over at Home Depot, and then you go out the parking lot of Home Depot, and then you climb the hill that brings you up to the airport, and then you make it. I want to say just before you get to the 76 Circle K is where the turnaround is. So yeah, there's a little bit of hill, and there's a little bit of run against the wind. So get behind Derek Mindell and draft behind him.
So you get to run. You go up the hill and you turn around and you get to run. Just coast right down the hill.
Oh yeah.
That's a good coast.
You just open your stride and you're going to be okay. Anything that you lose going up the hill, you should be able to make up handily by running a 5-minute mile down the hill.
It's a nice view, too.
It's not a bad view. Not a bad view at all. 8:22 in the morning. Now let me recap. And give you guys a second chance now at who you picked for the football in the divisional playoffs this weekend. Because it's time for Sports with Blake.
You thought you were going to be slick that time. Catch me off guard.
All right, so this is the way it worked out yesterday. The two lads agreed on the Chief and Colts game. Is that still the sentiment this morning? I'll give you a chance to change your mind.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Got to go with Chiefs.
You split on the Cowboys-Rams game.
Yeah, he's being a homer.
And now Blake said he's going for the Cowboys, and Michael Knight says he's going for the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going for the better team.
You're going for the better team. Okay, so
any given Sunday. He's just bitter. He's just bitter because his team's out, and he hates Dallas.
I am.
Well, I thought you hated Dallas, too. I thought there was...
No.
That was a mutual...
No, I mean, he hates the city, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love Dallas. I love Dallas. The Cowboys are fine. It's their fans I can't stand.
He doesn't want to hear it. He told me he doesn't want to hear it. He thinks he's going to have to hear it from Cowboys fans if we... Which I've said. I go, as long as they don't win the whole thing, you probably won't. Because, Cowboys fans also, because you have to hear it from them, they're also unrealistic. Right. And so it's Super Bowl or bust. Like, get into the NFC, you won't hear it from them because they'll be, depressed if they don't make it out.
But they got to beat the Rams to get there.
Yeah, that's the first next
and my preseason pick,
and there have been people saying that it was going to be the Rams in the Super Bowl since the beginning of the season.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, me. I say Rams Chiefs. I think that's still a good choice.
That's why I'm giving you a chance here to change your mind. And
I tell you right now, if the Cowboys can beat the Rams and the Saints, they deserve to be in the Super Bowl.
And the thing is, I don't
Straight
know.
up.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't think that. It'll stop right there.
Yeah.
All right. Now you both agreed on in the Chargers-Pats games. You both said Chargers because it was time for the Patriots to start losing.
Yep.
Most people are probably rolling their eyes at us, but we're in the minority there, really.
Yeah. And especially it is in New England, so
it's going to be cold. And,
I'm looking to Facebook Live to see if
is anybody saying
if anybody's going to give you a hard time about that. Doesn't look like you're getting any gas for it now. Dennis Bensur is asking, is there morning of sign-up for the 5K? I'm going to say yes. I don't know 100% sure, but there's always morning of sign-ups for the 5K. Actually,
they'll always take your money.
It reminds me a couple of years ago, I ran the race. without paying, accidentally, because I thought my friend Yuka had a bib for me, but I didn't see her prior to the start of the race. So I figured I'll get the bib from her later on, and so the race ended, and I go through the line. I get my water and my apple and orange and stuff like that, and I finally see Yuka, and I said, "Okay, can I get the bib so I can go get the shirt?" And she says, "You idiot! The bib that I was talking about is for next weekend's race, not this one."
So you just.
I have to go.
You thought it was like a meal where you pay after the event's over.
What the heck? So I'm gonna say there probably is going to be something like that. All right, and you both agreed on the Eagles-Saints game.
I mean, look, I think the Eagles could very well go in there and beat the Saints. But I think the smart pick is the Saints, only because they're at home. Yeah. So, but anything can happen in any of these games. That's what's great about these games, because the Colts could very well, and a lot of people, like national people, people that get paid to talk about this all day, every day, they're picking, the Colts, to go in and upset the Chiefs. A lot, that's a pretty popular pick.
Well,
too.
and it stands to be one of the potential upset picks for the weekend, because we all know the Chiefs fall on their face in the postseason. Right. It is what they do. But I really think that they're going to fall on their face in the championship.
And the thing about this is that, I mean, unless the Chargers just go out there and just lay an egg, and unless Dallas goes out there and just lays a complete egg, anything could happen. What's exciting, and I think why I'm looking forward to just this whole weekend in general, for the first time in a long time, there's not a clear cut like, oh, Patriots are just, see y'all in the Super Bowl. It'll be Patriots versus whoever. But this year it really could be anybody versus anybody.
So Rico Blancaflor says Brady's an old man, but he can never count him out, especially during the playoffs. And my response to that is just like Carl Gutierrez. You never write him off. You never count him out. Just when you think he's gone, he lost the primary election, Lulian Guerrero, all of a sudden you wake up one morning and pick up the copy of the Guam Daily Post where it says, former Governor Gutierrez lands administration job. He is now the chief advisor for economic development and national and international affairs.
Wow.
You do not write the guy off. So
from the ashes.
There could still be some kind of Brady Patriots magic that takes place over the weekend. Now, with this being now playoffs, are there any changes to rules about ties or overtime or things like that?
They did change a rule going into the postseason, and I don't know what it is. There was a rule change and it's kind of controversial.
No crotch grabbing?
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was something with like if the ball hits the most significant rule change is I'm not
supposed to fill in here completely and totally unprepared.
No, I don't know what it was, but it's but they did make a little bit of a rule change. Something about the ball has to hit the ground, for it to be incomplete or something like that. But I wanted to point this out. What's interesting about the quarterback play from these playoffs is you have two 40-year-old or 40-plus-year-old guys who arguably are the two best quarterbacks in the playoffs. With Breeze turned 40, I think, last week, right? And then of course Brady's 41.
Yeah,
40,
and of course Breeze just spent this last season setting all kinds of records.
Yeah, so we'll see if age and experience holds true.
The Warriors at Friars this weekend. And the preseason basketball tournament?
I do. I have that. Almost come the Warriors. Mixing ND and St. Paul up together. Yeah, they defeated JFK in a battle of the unbeatens, the last two unbeatens, because before that, Ukudu was unbeaten, and they played St. Paul. St. Paul won that one. FD won the other one against JFK. That sets up the championship match for tonight, and it's going down JFK versus Ukudu. Third place consolation game that will tip off at the Jungle Gym on the FD campus tonight at 5:30, with the two still unbeatens battling it out for the championship. Father Duenas, the home team, taking on the St. Paul Warriors. 7 p.m. GSPN preseason tournament, and it all will lead into the IIAG third quarter start of the sports calendar coming up next week.
Okay, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else sports related that we've got to talk about. I don't think we've got much time for it. There's still some headlines that we've got to take care of in just a couple of minutes. But so is Aaron going to take a look at the truck later on?
I hope so. That's the as long as
Aaron's our in-house car guy.
He
by
is.
He's the we got to as I'm fond of saying sometimes, we got a different Filipino for everything. And Aaron is our car Filipino.
And he owes me some because I haven't gloated when my Cowboys beat his Saints. I haven't gloated. We haven't really done any sports trash talk back and forth. So we've been pretty civil. So hopefully he'll be more keen to help me out.
Yes.
So I also wanted to say this: if you are driving around the Dedido Sports Complex this weekend and you wonder what's going on. The FAS Athletic Club kicking off the 3rd annual FAS Friendship Invitational Games. It's all going to kick off today with the popular volleyball tournament, and it will last through the 25th. The winner will advance to take on the 2018 Micronesia Games gold medal winner, Chuk national team in February. So all that's going on with the Guam national team and the UOG participating. The FAS Athletic Club, FAS Invitational Games going on. It's always a good time. Very festive. Very festive running gear, too, that they got.
Siri was listening to you. And what team in February so well that's good? This is what came up. The best places to travel in Europe in February.
I would guess Switzerland for skiing, the French Alps for wine, and London just because.
So she's looking for French Alps now. It's going to give me a traffic map for the French Alps.
They're always listening.
There's isn't that interesting? We all grew up in a world where we thought, the kooks were out there saying, the federal government's listening. We got a thing in the house, that in every household, in every office, and there's a federal guy that's listening to every word we said. And we said, my God, that's paranoia at work. And now here we are in 2019 where we've got these smart speakers in homes and offices. Have you seen
the AirPod? When you put AirPods in a room, and you can turn them, like you can leave a pair of your AirPods. Anybody can do it. You can leave a pair of your AirPods in a room, and then you can monitor. Then you can leave the room and monitor what's being said in the room through your phone from your AirPods.
From the AirPod,
like a baby monitor.
No, you can't.
Anybody can do it. If you have AirPods, the patch just came through. I'm seeing people doing it on Instagram stories. So now anybody can listen to anybody as long as I guess they're Apple users.
Yeah, and you're within the signal range.
Always be careful what you say then.
Yeah, so you could take, if you see just a random pair of earpods in a room, that means somebody's listening to you.
If you want to prevent people from being able to hear, put them in a glass of water.
Yeah, but that's true. That is all true what I just said. So be careful out there.
I'm going to look at that up. 8:32 in the morning. That's all the time we got for sports headlines with Kevin Kerrigan. Coming up next.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
So Kevin Kerrigan, who's naturally one of those just wants to understand, like all real good journalists, what the deal is between Dallas people and Houston people, and it's not just a sports rivalry. It's apparently this
class.
It's a class clash or some kind of thing. So what is it? Do the Dallas people look down on you Houstonians?
Well, to some degree, Dallas is kind of a white-collar town. Okay, and Houston is strictly blue-collar. So you got that cultural difference there. Dallas is way up north. Their weather's different. There's just a lot of different about Dallas compared to Houston. So there's always, it's a competition. We're all Texans, so we all love each other. We're going to stick it out when it gets tough. But the fact is, it's a friendly competition that goes on between Dallas and Houston.
Sound friendly. When Blake described it, it didn't sound friendly at all, did it? So you can always tell when somebody's looking down on you, because they tell me the number one complaint among people up in Saipan is when people from Guam speak to them slower. So do they? Is that when Dallas people get around a Houstonian, they slow down the conversation a little bit for you?
Well, only if they've been drinking as much as we have.
It's 8:35 and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: former two-term Governor Carl Gutierrez has landed a job with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. On the point this morning, Gutierrez told host Ray Gibson that he will be the chief advisor of economic development, national and international affairs. The formal announcement, he said, would be made later today by Adelup. A man who attempted to smuggle nearly a pound of methamphetamine into Guam inside his wheelchair will spend 5 years and 3 months in a federal prison. 35-year-old Eric Vincent Morta Benavente is a paraplegic who suffers from a number of health issues. He was arrested at the airport on October 15th, 2017, after arriving on a flight from Narita. Assistant U.S. Attorney Belinda Alcantara yesterday asked for a tougher sentence of up to 7 years, saying Benavente used his disability to conceal and manipulate the truth. However, defense attorney Leilani Lujan asked for leniency, saying Benavente was a nonviolent first-time offender who has been making some progress overcoming his drug addiction. Benavente told the court he was sorry and said he understood there are consequences that he is now facing. A couple that faced 2 drug trials, both of which ended in hung juries, will now be tried a 3rd time, but this time in California instead of Guam. The U.S. Attorney's Office in California has issued an arrest warrant for Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier. Martinez and Mosier are accused of money laundering and conspiring to distribute methamphetamine in connection with an alleged plot to bring 8 pounds of crystal meth from California to Guam back in 2015. The key witnesses against the couple in the 2 previous mistrials was former Guam Customs Lieutenant Henry Alvandia, who cooperated with federal authorities as part of a plea deal in the bribery charges that he faces. However, in each trial, the defense attacked Alvandia's credibility, contending that Martinez and Mosier were entrapped and the drugs were planted. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's on the microphone, Gibson. It's 8:36 in the morning. We'll call that iConnect time. iConnect has got some great deals for you in 2019 for all of your telecom stuff. You're thinking mobile and internet. Yeah, but they also do push to talk, which is a great way of, you've got fleet out there, you got salespeople on the road, quote, marketing personnel or whatever. A great way to keep in touch with them. Let the experts at iConnect show you how it works. I hear that. That's nice. 8:37. I'm telling Kevin, make good decisions. I'm not making any decisions. How about that? This good. Then I know for sure I'll see you Monday. Wendy's is saying thanks for making the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger America and Guam's #1 bacon cheeseburger. How are they saying thanks? By giving you more of what you love. Introducing Wendy's Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. You got to see this thing. Double the beef, double the bacon, and now it comes in a giant meal. For $5, you get the sandwich, nuggets, fries, and a drink. Get Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. So many big ways to say this. Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger meal. Get it before it's gone.
Cheers to 80 years. It's our 80th anniversary and the gifts are on us. 80 gift certificates, 8 shopping sprees, 8 staycations, and 1 round trip flyaway for 2 to Manila. So how do you enter? Calvo's Insurance personal home and auto customers are automatically entered. Non-Calvo's customers may enter by receiving a qualified quote. It's our way of saying thank you for trusting us for the past 80 years. For more details, visit calvos.com/giveaway or call 472-6816. Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years.
So I wonder if this federal government shutdown, the partial government, how that's going to be affecting things over the weekend, because we understand that there are people that are working that aren't getting paid. There are people that aren't working and aren't getting paid in the federal systems around here, and I'm wondering if that means it's going to be easier to get a table at Mosa's. Or Kitchen Lingo or something like that. I don't. What are the traffic patterns going to end up being? Speaking of traffic, don't see anything major right now. Looks like there's a little bit of a build leaving Route 15 to get yourself onto Route 10. 8, 10, and 16 was looking really, really busy a few minutes ago, but it looks like most of that is beginning to clear up with the second string traffic finding their way to the office. Nothing in front of Big Navy. Nothing in front of where does the place? Where am I thinking about? Navy Hospital, there we go. And there was a little bit of a build and slowing down in front of Anderson Air Force Base, but it looks like that has cleared up as well. It's 8:39 now. Right now, traffic on the point.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Sounds like the record is being played slow. You know, like it's a 45, but we're playing it at 33.3 or 33 and a third. Right? Did you get that when you listen to this? Okay, so it's not just me. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning, 888-825-888-TALK. Lots of stuff that going on with regards to 911, and now that Liban Camacho is in the place, and we've got Public Auditor B.J. Cruz, I'm wondering if anybody else is going to be looking at what happened with the 911 funds. I finally got an opportunity to sit down with Bob Kelly and go over this. I go to Bob Kelly for this for a lot of reasons. Number one is that he's a smart guy, and number two, he is also the go-to 911 guy on Guam. He maintains certification in the field of 911 operations, and so is intimate with a lot of details with where it's supposed to be and where we are now. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I just wanted to make one correction. I attend 2 or 3 conferences a year to maintain the certification.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that many.
Oh, yeah. I will probably be attending my Washington, D.C. conference in about another 4 to 6 weeks. And then there's multiple conferences throughout the year.
Okay.
But anyway, the certification is called an ENP, Emergency Numbering Professional, and it's granted by the National Emergency Numbering Association, which writes the standards and protocols for 911 services, and also acts as a non-governmental agency working with the FCC and all the carriers to implement the standards.
Okay, so there is a place where you can go and get the initials for after your name that will make sense to somebody. Around here, we're trying to make sense of a couple of things and notable notices that I have seen in the papers over the last couple of days. Yesterday, a notice from the Guam Public Utilities Commission, and on their agenda, Teleguam Holdings, that's GTA, docket 18-02. PUC investigation of transfers of the E911 funds. I didn't realize that PUC was looking into to the movement of those dollars as well.
Well, the payment of the 911 locally is under the PUC jurisdiction, and they also make the reports of the funds that go into that are paid by the carriers from the collections that go into the Department of Administration, where they're supposed to be held for 911. What is going on with this particular docket? They had a pre-hearing yesterday, and the DOA director did show up just to answer some questions on the pre-hearing, which takes place before the hearing next Thursday. And the big questions is who authorized the transfers of the 911 funds that were transferred out. And was the governor aware of this, and what's the administration's position? And the previous administration, through their legal counsel, did make a filing for the hearing. Current administration has not been involved in it. So what they're doing now is looking to the past of what previously was done with the money, and there may be some sort of an order or something that comes out. Well, I would expect an order. I don't know what that'll be yet.
Well, the order ought to be to pay the money back. Would it put the money back in?
I agree, and certainly, I want to see that money come back. But now we've got a situation where a previous year's money transferred by a previous governor becomes a unfunded liability of the current administration, who's trying to scramble to put things together now. And that's we're talking about something over 2 years old. So this occurred even before Ed Byrne was the director of DOA, because he stated yesterday all of these things happened before he was ever put into that position. So the big question that's going to have to be addressed by the PUC is what is the requirement of the current administration, or what is the reasonable liability, and can that be done, or do we just consider that's past and make corrections that never happens again in the future? Because, and I think you see the situation.
Yeah, no, vividly, I can understand the problems, but in this case, you look at the liability of the government, and I'm looking at the payments of millions of dollars by subscribers. Essentially, we were told that what we were putting this money was going to support was the 911 system, or the enhancement of purchase of an enhanced 911 system, and those funds were used for other. So we were a little bit baited and switched, and it might be worth pointing out, it also has the attention of the Federal Communications Commission, which may suggest that there be some kind of repayment of that fund for the purposes that it was being used for.
Well, I can tell you that
they were threatening. You'll recall the conversation we had with Commissioner Michael Bryan, and they were contemplating legislation to penalize us for it.
Well, there already is legislation that penalizes, and the legislation is, because of the diversion of funds, it makes Guam ineligible for certain federal grants, because if there's been diverted funds, the federal government would not take the NG 911 funds that are available for the jurisdictions for Guam.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of the things that I would propose is, if the new administration is following the rules and fences it, and puts in the proper controls of the money, I'd like to see budgets approved by the PUC the way they were originally set up in the legislation by Carlotta Leon Guerrero when she was senator and oversight of telecom. If we can get certain checks in place where the budgets are approved and the expenditures follow approved budgets by the PUC, which is following those rules, I'm hoping we might be able to go back and get a waiver from the federal government that this was 2 years ago, it was done by a previous administration. The current system protects and prevents this from happening again, and can we get a waiver so we could possibly apply for grants? But these are things that are going to have to be looked at in the future. I mean, certainly we're looking weeks, if not months, down the line on this, and we've got to wait and see what the PUC does on their hearing next Thursday evening to see where that goes.
Yeah. Well, it might be one of those situations where we deal with the federal government. Carl Gutierrez might be able to work on as chief administrator or chief advisor in national and international affairs. 8:47 in the morning. So that's one of the stories that we're following around is to see exactly what is going to be happening with the investigation of the transfers of the E911 dollars, and then we've got this other interesting 911 situation that pops out, and that is the RFP. Solicitation notice has been published by the Guam Fire Department for a next-gen 911 system and a computer-aided dispatch system. Didn't you tell me the other day that they'd stopped that procurement?
Well, they did stop the previous procurement that was due on the 28th of December.
So this is the same. It's the same purchase, but new procurement.
It looks like it's a new procurement, and I did not even know that was out till you.
It's because you don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning like I do.
Yes, well, unfortunately, I read my newspaper online, and they don't always have the public notices.
Yeah.
But maybe that's something we can look at correcting in the future, that all procurements also be posted on a bulletin board or something for the government of Guam for transparency. So if you don't have paper newspapers, or you're off island, you have a place you can go and look at all solicitations like this. That's a suggestion I think I'll make to the folks at Adelup, that they require all solicitations to go to a specific procurement board that people can review, just like they do in the newspaper, and also for official meetings. But putting that aside, I have a little bit of some issues in here. I think we should be looking first how we're going to govern 911, how the organization should be. That's some issues that I think the new administration needs to address. As far as this procurement, I didn't know it, but now let me clarify something. Right now, I'm busy running my business. I'm not I have not moved in to be part of the administration or to do any of that work, although they have sought my advice on certain things relating to 911 and other technology, and I think I'll continue giving that. Well, I will continue giving that as they request it, but I'm not sure how this got published this soon. I think that would be an issue. You probably would want to get some feedback from the fire department and also the governor's office on how that procurement came out so quickly, and why we're doing that now before we've really analyzed where we're going to put the center. There's not enough room at where they're at right now at the civil defense. They were moved into there because they needed a space years ago and moved out of Tejan. But is this really an appropriate place to even be building a full 911 center? As we move into NG 911, we're making some big changes in how we do the system. The old 911 was a circuit-based system, like a regular old POTS telephone, plain old telephone, analog service. And we used a protocol that was called Anning, which was, by the way, how Guam used to make its long-distance calls prior to the domestic dialing. That's how old that particular protocol is. Right now, over 80% of the calls that go in 911 today are from wireless phones. And I'm speaking national averages. Guam may be plus or minus a little bit, but we aren't much different than the rest of the United States. So I'd be surprised if we were more than a couple of points difference on this. Half the people in the United States today have dropped landline service. I don't even have a landline in my house. My wife has a phone and I have a phone. That's how we get our calls. And so that means today we need to develop a system that's not based upon an old legacy phone system, which is what the old 911 was, but now we're basing it on the new wireless systems. And we're using protocols that you're familiar with when you set up your radio station, like SIP-based protocols for the new NG 911. We're using a new multimedia standard that is used by wireless phones in order to exchange pictures and movies. How often do you take a picture of something to send to a friend or a colleague and say, hey, take a look at this? But you can't do that to 911 today. We can't send text messages. That's important not only in bomb threats, but it's important for our people who have hearing.
Yeah, sure.
We want to be able to integrate our 911 system eventually with things like poison control centers, the hospital emergency rooms better, if needed. If there's a disaster that involves something at sea, how can we go to the Coast Guard Center and drop our 911 call directly in and bring them on? So there's going to be a lot of new things, a whole lot of new features that are capable, because obviously in today's smartphone, you have a whole lot more capability than you did with your landline 20 years ago.
Well, it's night and day. I mean, they're different technologies. It's the difference between black and white and color, if you ask me.
Right. So today we're using the 911 technology that was developed for your phone 20 years ago, when we have all these features that with NG 911 we're able to bring into play for, and also even how we file things. Is that house that we're dispatching somebody to, do they have somebody with a certain disability, possibly mobility or blind or what have you? Do they have somebody that's got a certain health condition? If we dispatch the fire department to a building, does that immediately show up on the 911 if there's hazardous materials stored in it?
Yeah, and they've just recently redone, Bob. They've just recently redone some mapping to bring things a little bit closer to reality than what you might get even on your Google or your Apple Maps. So that needs to be incorporated into this enhanced system that we're going to be getting. So it is kind of interesting. Now the question that I have, and I don't know whether you know it or maybe we ought to get a hold of Joey at some point to talk about it, is is this a new request for proposal? Does it need to go back to the Attorney General's office to get blessed?
There's a couple things legally that I don't have the answer. One, would it need to be reviewed? But I mean, from a procurement standpoint, I would like to review to see if the way we're doing this and how we're putting it together is really how Guam wants to operate a 911 center.
Sounds like you better get together with Deputy Fire Chief Joey St. Nicholas and find out what it is that they're asking for, what they think is going to be part of this next gen system.
I will get a copy of the procurement today, but see, the procurement is only a procurement for the hardware, software, and a dispatch system. It is, and I want to, I mean, we can get more into dispatch. When we talk dispatch, are we talking about EMD protocols, which is where they get approved by a doctor, where when you call and you have an emergency, they go through a series of questions that branch out to the next question or the next thing, and that's how they give you a standardized protocol for how they treat the person on the 911. Is that what we're going to be overall looking, or are we trying to replace the dispatch system that also integrates with the federal criminal databases and the court databases, which if that's the case, I think I would have a problem using 911 funds. So there's a few questions that I would have in the overall. But before we look at the hardware, software, how do we really want 911 by governance and function and as a entity to operate? And where do we want? I mean, I'm going to go back to something.
Yeah.
We're ordering a 911 system. Are we going to try to cram all this into the Civil Defense Office?
Should have an emergency center somewhere.
Yes. So there's a lot of questions. And as far as this procurement, it had Lou and Josh's name. I would suggest maybe you contact Adelup and find out where they stand on putting the procurement out at this time. But at this stage, if I could make a recommendation back to them, is I would like to at least see a pause and try to analyze what we want for an overall 911 system. Not delay things a lot. We need to do this quickly.
Yep.
But I still think we need to have an overall look at where we're going to put it, how we're going to staff it, how we're going to govern it, and where is Guam going with this before we look at buying the equipment and the software.
That might not work for us or our peculiar needs here. Got it. It's 8:57, Bob. Have a good weekend. I'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, 888-825-5888-TALK. I'm with him. There seems to be a lot of different dimensions and a lot of technical rabbit holes that you can jump down into with this next-gen 911 procurement that they're going to be getting. Hands down, nobody disagrees that there is a need for us to be moving forward to it. But we, number one, got to figure out where the money's coming from, where's it going to go, exactly how are we going to be using it, and what G-Wiz services are going to be available to the operators of the 911 system that we don't currently have right now. How about this one? Just the ability to record the phone calls, which we learned a month or so ago. This 911 system hasn't been able to do that for years.
Which you should be able to for legal purposes. I mean, there could be something go down that they need to hear and have that put in court
as part of a court case.
Yes,
in fact, I can think of a couple right now
many times
where it would have been nice to have had a copy of the 911. If for no other reason, I'm in the media. I'm not a journalist, but I can play one on the radio. It would be nice to be able to get the recordings of the 911 calls and play them for our listeners.
Yes.
So that they get a sense of what happened. I mean, it's part of our thing, is bring you closer to the action, and that's what we'd like to be able to do. You want to talk about just the change in the weather around here. Maybe that's the best way to put it. There are apparently several questions from different media groups. And Tony Diaz this morning, or yesterday, wrote, "We are providing an update on our filing date here. The Archdiocese plans to file for Chapter 11 reorganization on Wednesday, January the 16th. It's the first step among the first steps towards actual bankruptcy. We shall update the media the same day, likely with a news briefing in the morning. We'll let you know the time and date, the time of the briefing by Monday. But Wednesday, January the 16th, the Archdiocese plans to enter the courts and pray for Chapter 11 reorganization mercy in that time." Can you imagine? If somebody told you something like this was going to happen 10 years ago, your brain would have exploded. Nah, never going to happen. Yet here we are. Amazing. It's 8:59, 9 if you want to. The radio station is KUSG. Again, my name is Ray Gibson. Fox News Live is coming up next. In the next hour, a little bit more conversation about HPV and in-school vaccination. Huh.
Up against the wall. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The partial government shutdown continues as President Trump continues his demands that border wall funding be included in any legislation designed to reopen federal agencies. The president today changing his stance that Mexico will pay for the wall.
When I say Mexico's going to pay for the wall, do you think they're going to write a check for $20 billion or $10 billion or $5 billion or 2 cents? No, they're paying for the wall in a great trade deal.
The president referring to the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement that has not been finalized with the participating countries or approved by Congress. Before the president flew to the border at McAllen, Texas today, he said he might still declare a national emergency to circumvent Congress to get funding for his border wall.
I have the absolute right to declare a national emergency. The lawyers have so advised me. I'm not prepared to do that yet, but if I have to, I will. I have no doubt about it. I will.
That option is likely to lead to a court battle, but the president says he's confident he would win. Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney, has agreed to testify before a House committee investigating Russian election interference. Fox's Catherine Herridge.
You've got two committees really in play on the House side. You have the Oversight Committee, which is the public piece of it, in early February, and the new chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, is saying that they also plan to ask questions of Cohen, but to do so in a closed session.
Cohen was sentenced to serve 3 years in prison last year for campaign finance crimes that included payments to women who claimed to have had affairs with the president before he ran for office. U.S. stock indexes ending the day in positive territory, marking their fifth day of gains. The Dow was up 123 points, closing at 24,001. The S&P 12 higher, with the Nasdaq ending the day with a gain of 29 points. This is Fox News.
Docomo Pacific is making the Better Together bundle even better. 2 great services plus more. Get unlimited local calls, SMS, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet for $109 a month. Sign up today and get free installation and choose between a free Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or $100 off select devices. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Opinion.
House Republicans today criticized a fellow GOP lawmaker for making what they said were racist comments. Iowa Congressman Steve King was quoted in the New York Times saying, "White nationalist, white supremacist, Western civilization, how did that language become offensive?" Several Republicans blasting King, calling his comments abhorrent with no place in Congress. The investigation into a second death inside Democratic Party donor Ed Buck's home sparking protests and return donations.
California Congressman Ted Lieu says he's donating nearly $20,000 he received from Buck to charity, calling the latest revelations deeply disturbing. The coroner now confirming the identity of the most recent man to die as 55-year-old Timothy Dean. He's the second man to die at Buck's home since 2017, where a man previously overdosed. Buck faced no charges in that case, but officials say the investigation into the second most recent death will include a review of the 2017 case. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Twitter is testing new features designed to improve conversational health.
Twitter unveiling changes to help reshape how conversations look and feel on the site. Updates include a redesign to replies, helping to thread tweets together in a way that would make them easier to read, similar to comments on a Reddit post, and indicators to let followers know when you're online or when you are typing. Reps say they will start to publicly test these experimental changes in the coming weeks. Twitter's vice president of product says the goal is to promote more positive interaction, saying health is our #1 priority. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
A man's been sentenced to more than 10 years in prison for hacking the computer network of a Boston hospital. Prosecutors say Martin Gottsfield was protesting the treatment of a teenager at the center of a high-profile custody battle. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Insurance doesn't have to be another budget buster. Nambo Insurance has reasons for you to celebrate this new year. With Nambo Insurance Bundle Up Plan, you can save big. Bundle up your home, auto, or motorcycle insurance and save up to 50% off. Start off this new year with great savings from Nambo. Hurry and visit our 2 locations in ITC Building in Tumanin and our new Nambo Building in Hagåtña. Call us at 477-9754 or visit us at nambo.com. From our Nambo familia to yours, we wish you all a happy new year.
It's just after 9 o'clock in the morning. This is The Point, 93.3. My name is Ray Gibson, and this program is brought to you by my friends over at King's. They're my friends because they know what I like. I can just sit down at the table, and the lady will come over, and she'll bring me coffee because she knows that's what I want. And the ones that have been there for a little bit, they will come over in just a few minutes after that and say, you wanted that burger well done, right, Mr. Gibson? It's just one of those things after they've been doing business for as long as they have around here at King's. The program's also brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping the future. Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. And the guys over at Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs.
Are you not getting paid what you're worth? Or not reaching your full potential at your job? If you're pioneering, adventurous, competitive, love talking to people, and want to earn $100,000 per year, sell cars on U.S. military bases with Military Auto Source. Start on Guam, stay on Guam, or move to Japan or Korea. To see if you qualify, visit maseastasiarecruiting.com. Military Auto Source, helping you reach your full potential.
There's Wendy's got something brand new for you. It is the Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Now, the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger is already America's favorite, Guam's favorite bacon cheeseburger like ever. So what they did was they said, we can make this better. We can rebuild Steve Austin. So they've got the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, and then they throw in another slab of beef. And they take the bacon, and they double the amount of bacon that goes on it. So what was already really good is just super. It's impressive. It's giant. Now, you'd pay $5 for that happily. But like the Ginsu knife commercial, order before midnight, $5 gets you the sandwich and nuggets and fries and a drink for the same $5. Why are you eating anywhere else, friends? You need to be at Wendy's.
And we're working on the Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Enchilada.
Because I said they give you the whole enchilada, and I thought that kind of sounded dumb because we're talking about a hamburger place.
It's excellent.
But they should.
I'm from Texas,
there
bro.
ought to be.
Enchilada is a food group
all by itself
with tacos.
Man, I can't remember the last time I had an enchilada. It was home cooked and it was good, but it has been a long, long time. What restaurant? Now that I'm done talking about Wendy's and the ad that they just paid for, let me just pick your brain here about what restaurant we would go to if we wanted to find ourselves an enchilada.
Wow. See, now you're the guy that knows. I mean, nice little place down in Lower Tumon that I like to go to.
Do you remember the name?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to mention any names right now because,
Well, you can. I don't care.
Well, they're there by the competition.
Oh, is it in the same building?
The same building.
Right
up front.
Oh,
yeah, Mi-Saison.
Oh, say it again?
Mi-Saison.
Mi-Saison.
Yeah. They're actually really good stuff.
In fact, Rex told me I should probably get a meal there.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's you would think you go to Lower Tumon, you get all these high dollar things.
Yeah.
Everything's very affordable there, and the portions are excellent.
Well, there's another taco place over by Mac and Marty's that I've tried that was really, really good, and then they've got is it Dr. Kebabs? A little bit closer to the Happy Landing Road. I mean, when I was a kid, you could go down to Tumon, you get fine dining. I mean, super fine dining and Japanese. Those were your choices in Tumon. And now anymore is just all kinds of great. What about you? Let me just on the Facebook Live for the guys that are listening and chatting. I got Rita Hugo's there, Brad Hewitt, Rose and Bill Murphy, Benny Pinalla, Blake Watson. Blake's doing something else. Debbie Ratoyan, and Rico and Tom and whoever else is on right now. what you go down to Tumon, and besides the Japanese food, what else is good down there? What are your places that you go to if you're dining in Tumon? You got a friend in town, and they say, well, I don't feel like I had a steak at such and such before I came here, and don't feel like eating Chinese or Japanese or something like that. Where are your other favorite, almost hole in the wall? Wouldn't know it was in Tumon unless you were looking for it.
Those are the best places.
Right. Okay. So now I'm gonna take this out of the context of the conversation and just say one of my favorite discoveries. And I originally went there because we were going to go eat dinner at the Curry House. But they don't sell beer at the Curry House. Oh. So I figured I'm going to go and get a beer somewhere else. And so I walked across the street and to Jimmy's Izakaya.
Okay.
And thought, I'm going to stay here. You guys can have curry. I'm staying over here because they had everything that I like, and they serve it izakaya style. And whatever they charge you for, it's worth it. And, yeah, they got beer. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, I forgot where we were supposed to head after this.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now tell a friend.
Not that there's that much of a format here on this program.
No, but that will work even if you get pulled over by a policeman.
What's that?
I'll just say enchiladas, and the whole conversation will change.
Right? I was going to give you a ticket. I was going to inspect your car for meth and glass pipes in here. But now that you've said enchilada,
just a couple of nights ago,
yeah. You ever make that with like cream of chicken, whatever? Look, it's enchilada, though, right? I mean, there's like the for Kenny Williams saying, "Mi saison is super clean." I'm glad you. Listen. You want Kenny Williams to tell you that because that's the bug guy, right? So if he says it's super clean, it's super clean.
And the owner of the place is just good people. Yep. I mean, every single time I had an encounter with him, just a great guy.
Okay, so I am in my head. I imagine that an enchilada is something where there are purists.
Yeah.
And then there are, people that will, I don't want to say fudge, but some people who will depart from the recipe and give you something completely different, yet still enchilada.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty basic.
Like chili, beans, no beans.
Yeah, and for me, you gotta have meat and some kind of something wrapped up in some corn tortillas. It's got to be smothered in sauce and covered with cheese. And as long as you have those ingredients,
the basics are in there.
Yeah, the few little extra flavors or whatever, that's fine.
Sprouts? Can we sprout it?
What kind of sprouts?
Just any kind of sprouts. I'm setting you up here because I think sprouts are the scourge of mankind. I can't eat anything with sprouts in it.
The only thing green I want on my enchiladas are those little chopped onions. Those little
can handle. 9:12 in the morning, and yeah, we've got some guests coming into the studio. There's going to be next Tuesday a HPV vaccination and school-based immunization programs, and so they are encouraging parents to do your due diligence in research before making an informed decision to vaccinate your child. And they're not taking a position one way or the other on like letting everybody is going to get vaccinated, but we are talking about HPV. And remember from our conversation with the doctor yesterday, the HPV is a sexually transmitted disease. And for a lot of parents, maybe of their daughters that attend George Washington High School, there might be a lot of parents that are going, but my daughter's not sexually active. And so you will need to grapple with that on your own. Yeah, let me just whistle by the graveyard. You will have to grapple with that concept all on your own. But if there is the possibility that she is, then you need to know that there is another kind of disease, an STD, that you can get in relation to that, and it might be worthy of having the conversation about getting immunized against HPV. And as we again learned yesterday, there's a number of varieties of HPV out there, and a couple of which have got the triggers that the doctors know will cause cancer. So it's an important conversation that you need to have with your family. family, and it's an important conversation that you need to have with Google and learn all about the immunization programs that are already being done out there and what's out and what's available. And now you want to have it at school. We will have that conversation in just a little bit. Folks from Cancer Care are going to be in here, and I believe Senator Luis Munoz is going to be in here as well, along with that gaggle. So
nice.
so that's going to be fun to look forward to and find out, if they're still playing it Saturday nights on at Roots.
Oh yeah, and the next thing we need to work on is scientists need to come up with an immunization for stupid.
Wow. It's possible that such a thing already exists, but, with as many of these drug jugheads that are out there as thugs, it ain't going to happen. In fact, and thank you for reminding me that we've got ourselves a gaggle of thug drug jughead stories that are out there.
Somehow looking at me and saying the word stupid just reminded
I didn't
you.
mean. I know. I
I'm
didn't
not sure
mean
how to feel about that.
That's okay. Because every once in a while I get this Hatfield McCoy thing when I look at you. I'm just wondering which part of the hill were you raised in?
I was on the good side.
When you were growing up, were there people around you that actually used the word holler to describe a place down
on occasion? Yes, as a matter of fact.
All right, so what do we got? There's I'm looking at a story because first of all, it's a grifter, page 6 grifter story, and I got to find. I'm trying to remember which of the newspapers it's in. I think it's in the Guam Daily Post here. Man, 31 accused of threatening public schools. Now that's not bad enough until you read the whole story on this guy. It's just you go. Can we deport him? I think he's from here, but maybe this guy ought to get deported. 31-year-old man behind bars after threatening to destroy not one but 2 public schools in an effort to reach a woman known to him and from whom he was ordered by the court to stay away from. And then it goes on to talk about a couple of scams the guy that was working on with a car, and then another one with another car, and a guy stealing checks from a karaoke bar. Just this crazy story. Regarding the karaoke business checks, Nego allegedly said he found the checks in a wallet with cash and used the cash to buy gas. He said he had no intention of using the checks, but it had already been alleged in a scam that where he used a check to buy a car.
Well, Ray,
there was nothing in there.
I mean, aren't you
account.
walking down the street and find checks? Come on, I mean, blank checks made out to, and you just say, I think I should spend this.
Listen, I find stuff all the time.
It's
I'm just one of those guys. I tell you right now, I find stuff all the time, and when I have the opportunity to return it,
yes.
I found your driver's license. I found your wallet. Whatever. I will do what I can in order to return that kind of thing. But I did tell you the time I was walking around the beach area and I found a wallet and it had money in it.
Yeah.
And there was no identification.
Oh.
What do I do? What do I do? The 6-pack. That's what I did.
You can't. I mean, think about it. Realistically, you can't take it to the police. They'll be like, I don't know who to give it to. It must belong to you. Okay.
Robert Ellsworth says, tell Mike the immunization for stupid is PB. Is that Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Not sure.
Because I think that would just amplify it. That'd magnify it, wouldn't it?
A little bit. Yeah.
Bob, you're going to need to give me a little bit more of explain on that one. All right, so that was one of the drug thug heads. I'm sure that there's drugs involved with that grifting story. Home Depot security guard helps himself, and what I'm beginning to read more and more of, and maybe it's just colorful language from the magistrate reports. What they're referring to as co-actors. They're co-actors. Yeah. So this guy was working with somebody else, a co-actor, to help himself to about what was it? How much money? $5,000 in merchandise and roof paint at $250 a bucket.
But he was not the mastermind.
Yeah, but he was working with the co-actor here, and we need to rewrite that. Co-thug is how we're going to be doing that from now. I think we need to use the word thug a little bit more often, especially where it comes to guys that are helping themselves. This is that's why the roof paint is $250 a pail, because they got to kick up the price here to make up for guys that are sneaking it out in the middle of the night. And that's my point here. Although I got to tell you, as a homeowner and a handyman, I'm kind of curious as to what you can do with $250 a pail roof paint.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
Well, you can paint other people's roofs and make lots of money.
Yeah, but I mean, I can paint other people's roofs with $130 worth of roof paint. $250 is a lot of money for 5 gallons of paint.
Maybe he likes to make sure that his side business is quality.
Yeah, I mean, that's the you don't spill a drop of that. No. But, you figure $250 and maybe it's going to cost you a couple of these things. That's $500. I might be able to go $500 worth of white tile and stick that up on the roof. Right, and never have to paint it again. Just go up there every once in a while and mop the thing down, and then we're done. It's just constantly reflecting light back to that. I mean, what do you get for $200? I may go by Home Depot and check out this $250 a pail white paint just to see what.
Maybe it paints itself.
For that kind of money, yeah, it better come with a guy and rollers and things like that. And then we got there's another story here about a thug who stole a truck. And then when he was caught red-handed with the truck, told the police, no, I didn't steal this truck. I'm not the guy.
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing.
The other part of it is as usual. So what did I give you? 3 thug stories. One of them here involves a guy who was out on felony release for for an arrest going back 2 years, 2016. He was on felony release for that. And if you ask me, as a tax-paying member of this community, I would like him to have the privilege of running around with all of the rest of us that are following the rules. That privilege has been revoked, and I'd like to see this guy put behind bars. Or are we going to let him go for these charges as well?
You know what they should do? The old school ball and chain. I mean, for real. If you've got a conviction for a felony and you've committed another crime, you get to wear a literal ball and chain. You cannot take it off. You must carry it around with you, literally.
Yeah,
by about a 10-pounder.
Yeah, that's
it's light enough that they can pick it up and carry it, but it's heavy enough that when they put it down, it'll go clunk.
All right, so it was Bob Ellsworth said, "Tell Mike the immunization for stupid is PB," and I guess that's the periodic table. Look it up. That's the label for lead. As in, here's your bullet. Here's your bullet, you idiot. Jose Martinez says silicone roof paint. Yeah, apparently that's what this guy at Home Depot was lifting, was a bunch of pails of roof paint, selling for $250 a bucket. And like I said, I've purchased and have applied roof paint before in my life, and that's an expensive process, and you always try to buy the best that you can get because you don't want to do it very often. You should not have to do a new roof all the time.
Right.
So it should have a number of qualities. One of them is silicone. A lot of people like to buy like an elastomeric roof paint. So if you've got little cracks and crevices in the roof, number one, the elastomeric will seal it.
Right.
And then what you want is you want to have a high degree of reflection. It's not simple enough just to paint the roof white. It needs to reflect. It needs to actively reflect the rays of the sun right back to it. So that's another thing. So it should have a degree of shiny when it's all done. And then for Guam, should have some significant algicide in it. Because the algae on Guam is the meanest, roughest, toughest, rootinest, tootinest algae there is, and you can have it in a place where you think it is the driest section of roof, and it will still go black on you.
There's another thing people take they don't take it into consideration, but they should, especially here on Guam. But those particular paints, they're also very hardy. They're very resistant to the pounding of the rain. Because there's only one thing that causes erosion, really, and that's water here on Earth, and rain causes it in big portions.
Yeah.
Just look at the mountains.
So, like I said, it might be worth going over there now that you know that they've got something. Jose says it lasts long, but burns a hole in the pocket. Sure does. At $250 per. That better be a 10-year paint. That had better be a 10-year paint. For that kind of price. Anyway, 9:23 in the morning. What do we get to talk about in the next couple of minutes? Like I said, I got folks from Guam Cancer Care coming in talking about HPV vaccination and the idea that they're going to be taking it to the school. And they're going to be interesting people, and there are going to be selfies on this one as well. I'd like to take an opportunity to say congratulations to the guys over in the Consolidated Commission on Utilities who have been sworn in, signed in, and will attack for another term here. The options of keeping an eye on things over at GWA and GPA. Although I would like to see, as part of this conversation one of these days, those opportunities for work enhanced, if you will. As in, I'd like to see the Consolidated Commission on Utilities also look at what's going to be happening around here when it comes to trash collection. At some point, the receiver is going to go away. We don't know when that's going to be. And I'm not real crazy about the ideas of replacing them, just because I like the way the trash service works right now. But I will say that when the receiver goes, there is going to be a board. We've got Guam Solid Waste Board. They're already in place, and they're meeting fairly regularly. But I'd like them to report. Like the management at GWA, like the management at GPA, I'd like them to report to the Consolidated Commission on Utilities as well. Keep the price down and keep the level of service as high as they possibly can. But so you got a job. Congratulations. Congratulations to former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, who has acknowledged his appointment by this new administration to be their chief advisor for economic development and national and international affairs. You heard the conversation this morning at 6:30. You should be able to go to YouTube Live later on and watch it again, or Facebook, and this will be a video on demand a little bit later on. As soon as I press the button and stop the stream, it will get memorized by Facebook, and you'll be able to catch him. And again, the governor on about 6:40 this morning, talking about some of the details, some of the opportunities that he's got in this new position over at Adelup, and it sounds like it's very, very broad. I mean, we were talking about economic development. I mean, off the top of your head, you can come up with 100 different opportunities for economic development around here, utilizing local businesses, local brain power, local talent. And it was just a couple of days ago, Ginger Cruz in the building talking about, hey, I got these friends in Lebanon, and they are done investing in Beirut and Lebanon and the area, and they're starting to look around. And you know what? The Pacific might look pretty good to them. So maybe there's some economic opportunities working with folks. Then, of course, there's the gazillion and one issues between Guam and the federal government that maybe somebody like Carl T.C. Gutierrez could attach himself to. And since he's not governor, since he's not running the rest of the show, might be able to completely drill in and work on some of those things. So are there other people that need to go get jobs? We are all very, very concerned about what may happen in the near term with SNAP benefits. This time yesterday, we had a conversation with Linda and Pinko Denorsi over the Department of Public Health and Social Services. And in that conversation, she revealed that on January 20th, how many days is that away from now? Next week or so, they will have applied for and will receive the February balances that will be going into Quest cards all over Guam. People that are holding the Quest cards will be notified, and they will let you know, hey, we're not putting this in on February 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is actually going into your Quest account before February, in January. And that money will need to last, because after that, there are no more continuing appropriations out of Washington, D.C. for any additional dollars to go into those SNAP benefits. So if you receive them, if you know somebody that receives them, you better make sure they do what all of the rest of us do, and that is scour all of the ads and look for the bargains in the grocery stores, as opposed to just going in and buying whatever you want to because I'm putting it on a card that I don't have to pay back. This dough has got to last. But here's another option, as opposed to, it's going to make it last. You might want to think about getting a job. Call me crazy. That crazy guy on the radio saying that the people in the Quest program ought to go out and find themselves some kind of employment just in case.
What you just said,
the money runs away,
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Mm-hmm. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Yep. What's the matter, Quest cards?
That's the way they look at you when you tell them that. They'll be like, what? Why would I want to go get a job? I make more money sitting on my butt at home,
That's
having
right.
babies.
Now we're probably overgeneralizing there. It is possible that there are people that are in the system, in the program, who really, really are having a hard time.
There are, no, absolutely.
And you know what? My heart goes out to them, and I hope you're able to get through this. On the other hand, there are, I'm sure, a number of free riders out there. Oh, freeloaders, or what the Japanese call comfortably poor. And maybe this time of discomfort might be enough to get you looking in the back pages of the newspapers for some kind of employment. And there's plenty of it out there. They're looking for a PR and marketing coordinator at Sleep Tech. Marketing is not hard. If you got that much imagination and a little bit of skills working with computers, I mean, heck, what are you doing on Facebook and Snapchat and all that? I mean, that's marketing yourself, isn't it? And that's where most people want to go with their marketing these days. Lewin Fung Enterprises looking for sales executives, accounting clerks, purchasing assistants, warehouse and delivery driver. Do you know how to drive? It's not hard to do, and you work your way into some of the other things that they're looking for. Experience is preferred. First thing that you got to know is no phone calls. Please apply in person, because that means we want to see you when you come in here. And if you look like you steal cars for a living, or maybe you've got a problem with some kind of Schedule 1 or 2 drug, then we won't bother much with the application. There, so come on in and let us see. Wear your nice Zoris when you go in there. Smithbridge looking for a payroll clerk, receptionist, help wanted, full-time, part-time, game room attendants, able to work any shift and on call. Does that sound like it's the hardest thing in the world? A game room attendant. What do you have to do as a game room attendant? Just stand there and watch the guy at the machine, right? And if he wins, you take him over to the window, and the guy in the window gives him some money, and then you go back to doing that. And near as I can tell, from the many game rooms near the house, the game room attendant position is largely, I think, standing outside smoking cigarette or vaping. I think is what the game room, and there's a lot of people that are qualified to do that.
Smoking something.
Now hiring plumber, equipment operator, and warehouse and delivery driver again. Can you drive? Do you have a driver's license? Might require you to get a chauffeur's license or whatever. What do they call it? Class C, Class D, whatever. But still, in all, might be worth the investment. In fact, I know it'll be worth the investment. I can't tell you the number of times in my career in broadcasting. In my career in broadcasting, where I have had to hire people with certain kinds of advanced driver's license based on the kind of equipment that they were going to be driving around, and I like this, company, so I want to make sure that I mention them. But for no other reason, because they have foodies, and inside foodies they have beer caves. The IP&E is looking for an HVAC technician. Examines the heating and cooling systems for all assets and properties of IP&E Holdings, LLC, and companies in order to determine the safety and efficiency of the HVAC systems that we have here on Guam. And the cool thing about HVAC is, for the most part, it's just HAC. We don't have a lot of these plug-in vacuum systems like they do in other places. So that's even there. One less thing to worry about. Is it hard? You know, I've seen the guys that do the work. And the ones that are very, very good at it are generally not necessarily the smartest guys in the store, but they're certainly the ones that are the most efficient at it. Hey, it's 9:32 in the morning. I'm going to take a real quick break, and then we're going to bring in a couple of ladies from Guam Cancer Care, et cetera, to talk about this HPV vaccination. It's kind of a continuation of the conversation that we heard yesterday about your magical cervix, ladies. That's ahead right here on The Point. 9:32 is iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect and ask them about the great packages and plans, et cetera, that they've got for 2019. Real groovy stuff here. Push-to-talk mobile internet plans. For details, iConnectGuam.com.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7288. 883.
Security Title is honored to sponsor Ray Gibson on The Point. In 2019, we resolved to continue our mission of protecting and ensuring the land and homes of our beautiful island. Additionally, we resolved to maintain our vital connection to our families and our community. Protehi Itanomo, protect your land. When it comes to your family land, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
On all the microphones here, so everybody can talk. Hi, it's 9:34 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show, until it's not going to be. And in an unusual kind of way that we're doing this interview segment right now, because normally we start the hour with an interview segment, but we're going to be finishing the hour with an interview segment with a couple of lovely ladies. I have Rhythm Bloss.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
And so you're the new spokes over at Guam Cancer Care, is that it?
One of them.
One of them. Okay. Well,
we all play a part.
The deal at Guam Cancer Care, and we'll do some backfill on who you are and what you are all about, and how we're moving forward with this vaccination program in a couple of minutes. But I also want to bring into the program the very lovely Senator, second round in the 35th Guam Legislature, Senator Louise Munoz. How you doing there?
I am doing good, Ray. Thank you.
It was so
Thank
nice
you.
to see you last night.
I know. That was quite a surprise. I was like, oh.
So I went running yesterday. And then my friends were buddying up over at Kitchen Lingo, and I didn't want to go home and change, so I just went in what I run in, and what I ran in yesterday was my short speedos.
And then the former Senator Jim Espaldon acknowledged your shorts, and I said, great, now I have to look at Ray's shorts, you know. Okay, that's all I'm going to think
Will
about.
Castro, I cannot unsee that. I'll never ever be able to unsee that. Well, if I'd have known that you guys were going to be there, I wouldn't have worn my shirt. But anyway, sometimes it gets nippy over at Kitchen Lingo. But it was nice to see you last night, and a surprising little caucus that you were having. And former Senator Estevez was there, showed up as well with the baby.
So basically, before the last term ended, I promised them that I would just have a little get together where we just go and just shoot the breeze and bring our families in and have a good time. And really, that's what it was. We tried not to make it political, but it just happens.
It's impossible.
It just happens.
It's impossible. We'll set up some more time, talk about some of the things that you were interested in doing as a member of the minority over in the 35th Guam Legislature. But this is important. Yesterday we had the conversation with the ladies from Take Care about the cervical cancer awareness and some of the things that they're doing. Free screening for Take Care members, low-cost screening if you're not a Take Care member, and the importance of getting yourself screened on a regular basis, regardless of where you are age-wise, because of the threat to women of a certain number of diseases, including cancer of the cervix. You know, one of the questions that I was asked that I didn't have an answer to, and the ladies were already gone yesterday, is what is the incidence of cervical cancer on Guam? Rhythm, I mean, how many are you seeing or are you aware of at Guam Cancer Center?
I can't give you the exact number right now. I do know that the cancer registry, you can get that data from there. Okay. But really with this, when we came about this whole school-based immunization program, and we brought Senator Luis Munoz on board, it was based on we would partner in the summertime with other nonprofits to host medical outreaches for the Guam community members, you know, at different schools. Yeah. And it got to a point where at the outreaches, I remember at Simon Sanchez, we had to turn away up to 1,000 community members that were there because of the fact that we had doctors that would volunteer their time on a Saturday, or nurses that would come in and volunteer their time on a Saturday too. And, you know, you can't get everyone vaccinated and checked within a 4-hour time slot. Right. And so we found a way where when we want to emphasize on the HPV vaccine, because studies have shown that it does prevent cervical, 6 different types of cancers and diseases, but mainly including cervical cancer. We found that we have this captive audience within the school, and so we partnered with Public Health's immunization program as well as the GDUE school nurse, partnered with Senator Luis Muñoz, and we all came together to work together to implement this school-based
And
program.
so the first one is coming up on Tuesday, and that's going to be at George Washington High School.
Yes.
Okay.
So to answer your question about the cervical cancer, though, it's not one of our higher rates of cancer diagnosed here on Guam. But the main thing is that it's preventable, and this is how we can prevent it. So we get in front of it, and we try to prevent it. So the highest one is lung cancer.
From the conversation yesterday, frankly, it sounded like it was one of the easy cancers to get because you get it, we see it, and we go in with a hot wire, cut it out, and you don't have cancer anymore.
Well, it's not quite that easy. It sounds like it is, but rather than going in there and cutting it out, and why don't we just
try to prevent
get
it
in
before.
front of it and just prevent it? So really, this is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month across the nation, not just here on Guam, but everywhere. So today we will be having a proclamation signing to bring more awareness to it, and it just kind of works out perfectly that now we're going out and promoting this HPV immunization program that's going to help alleviate this type of cancer.
So there's people on either side of immunization, and there are some people that freak out about it, and some people that say, yeah, go ahead, that sounds like a great idea. And then there are going to be the dads and the moms out there that go, well, wait a second, HPV is a sexually transmitted disease. My little girl is not sexually active.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just sexually transmitted. It can also be transmitted through bodily fluids. So even if, say, for example, you have a little cut in your mouth and you drink from somebody who is infected with it, you can easily get that too. So
the virus.
Yeah, the virus. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be sexually transmitted.
So the recommendation, though, is being made that you are encouraging parents to do the due diligence in research before making an informed decision to vaccinate the child, which seems to me to be that this what you're saying is that this is optional. So if my daughter attends GW and I'm uncomfortable with a mass immunization taking place at the school, I can opt out for her.
Yes, you can. But that's what we're trying to bring awareness. So we're trying to inform the parents that this is, it really is there and it's available for you. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? It's not going to say, well, I mean.
No, like I said, I mean, there are people there's a whole big immunization debate that is taking place. And personally, I'm like, yeah, get the shot. It's cheap insurance, right?
Right.
But
Well, it's eligibility too. So you have to make sure that you're eligible for the program.
With our school-based immunization program, the students who are eligible are those with no insurance, MIP, or Medicaid. But if you do have insurance, we highly encourage you to go to your local physician, your doctor, because they also too, we like to hear that doctors are actually asking parents when they take their child, like, hey, would you like your child to get the HPV vaccine?
Right.
They're within the age group, and then they educate them. So it's nice to know that even though our program is just for those who are no insurance, MIP, or Medicaid, but we still have our local partner doctors who are also pushing for this as well.
Yeah, and I think it's the mindset too. We're starting to educate the parents more about this type of virus, and so the more educated they become, the more aware they will be, and then more open they would be to having their child vaccinated.
Any rhythm or rhyme to why GW is first?
First of this year, right?
First of the school year, but I know that our nurses at GW, they had a meeting, and it's just, I know Nurse Mark from GW, she did opt for her school to come first.
So this is going to happen on Tuesday. Do the students have paper on them now to get a signature from their parents?
Yes. So the students already were given the consent forms that came from public health. And not only that, it's not just we're giving the parents just a, hey, can you sign this? There's also an informational sheet that is about the vaccine that comes from public health.
Right.
Also a personal letter from the school principal and nurse about the dates, and just to kind of inform the parents as well.
Are there any side effects of the immunization?
We were asked about that too. I think if
putting a needle in me or something.
As with any vaccination, I'm sure maybe the area may be sore, but yeah, as far as I know, I can't give any clinical advice as to
what they tell you. Same thing.
Yes, I'm not a doctor.
We're not doctors.
We're not doctors. I mean, everyone has a different way of reacting, if there's even any reaction at all.
But you can contact your school nurse or your local physician to ask more about
now, do you give the clinical name of the vaccine anywhere in the documentation?
Yes,
so I can look it up and say, oh, that's what that is, and look it up on the database.
It's not easy to say human papilloma virus. You know, it's not easy to say it. So the easiest way to go out and promote is just say HPV, and people will understand what
No, but
it
I mean
is.
the specific drug, the specific immunization drug.
Yes, it's all the information is there as well on the informational sheet.
Yeah,
and
so the
consent
specific
form.
vaccine also keeps improving. So right now they're giving out Gardasil, right? So, and it's a two-dose depending on the age group, from 9 to 15, and then from 15 on up it becomes a 3-dose, right? 3-dose vaccination.
I presume that that's all. I don't have that information on me as we go through all of this. So you're anticipating vaccinating how many people on Tuesday?
We're targeting at least, we're looking at about 50 to 200 students to be vaccinated.
Okay, and so that's the entire target that you were talking about, the different age ranges in the
As
school.
of right now, we're looking at, we won't know for sure until possibly Monday when the students turn in the forms.
And that's the most important
But that's
part,
what we
is
want to
we need
stress
the consent
as of right now,
forms.
to turn
So
it in.
where's the money coming from? Where you find the money for the drugs? Not free.
We have our partners in collaboration and coordination with us, which is the Public Health Immunization Program, as well as the school health counselors at GDOE and Guam Cancer Care and Senator Louise.
So let me. We were talking about earlier about backfilling a little bit of this, and so a little bit more about Guam Cancer Care for the people that have not listened to this program, because I've done 100 interviews with Guam Cancer Care since their inception, and back when Charlie was running the place before she went over to GRMC. I've always been a big supporter. In fact, when there was a time when cancer was in my house, and the first people that I went to for guidance was Guam Cancer Care, and some of the best guidance from them about who you go see next. These are the questions that you need to ask the oncologist. These are the questions that you need to ask your travel agent, and if you're going to be seeking care elsewhere, these are among the ways that you might find a way to pay for it, including where on Guam you can go and maybe have somebody put a check in your hand in the next couple of days. So I thought that was very, very
I've been with Guam Cancer Care for almost 2 years, and I can say I've learned so much with this our nonprofit, and it's just a way where you have two sides. We have our main goal and our mission on Guam is to really help all the cancer patients here on our island with whatever bridging those gaps that they may face within services, financial assistance, patient navigation, transportation. And then we also have a side where we want to be proactive in the community and prevent cancer. And so we've been pushing for early detection, cancer screening, education and outreach to really try to help cover bases here on our island.
Okay, and now this is just one of the programs that Cancer Care has got going on right now. So we've got the calendar year 2019 in front of us, and are there a couple of other things that are in the calendar that you're looking at saying, yeah, that's going to be fun?
Definitely October is our busiest month, and by busiest I do mean it's more fun.
Breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, but it's more fun. We have our, our Get Your Pink On Wave, our Get Your Pink On campaign, our Strides for the Cure. Yep. There's many different programs within the schools alone. I know we have our EFIT Echo, our Kids for the Cure, as well as now our HPV program. So there's a lot you can see going on.
They're very busy. They're very busy. I was just talking to them about their whole calendar, and they should go out there and just promote this whole campaign.
Well, I meant to ask you last night because we're but I think you were freaked out about the shorts. So how did you get tied up with this outfit?
Well, through Guam Cancer Care and the GDOE and the public health program, we all met together and we talked about this school located vaccine program. And so how can we improve on it? So we're not bringing awareness to the fact that there is some loopholes that are falling through the cracks. We're just trying to align all of the forces together so we can get more children immunized, which hence is Bill 2-35.
2-35? I forgot what that is. I've only looked at the money ones.
It really is just allowing Department of Public Health agency to enter into the school system so that they can help administer these immunizations in the schools. Well, not specifically just HPV. Well, this is where Guam Cancer Care comes in. They're going to help assist with that. But just across the board, school immunizations.
We don't have that already?
There's a memo of understanding, but we still have some issues with staffing nurses, and so if we put everybody together, then we can actually really improve on the program.
Okay, because I remember when I was a kid, they'd line you up and take you to the library, and they'd give you a shot of something. And
right now we do have active campaigns such as Guam Cancer Care when they go out to the different locations right before school, and then there's flocks of parents bringing their children in, and then we run out of vaccines. So why not just take these vaccines periodically throughout the school year where the kids are already there, and just bring the vaccines to them. That way we can control it. We know exactly when and how, and we can actively campaign to the parents.
Okay, gotcha. Now, there's that. Let me ask you a couple of questions about how you doing, Senator. Congratulations on the inauguration and all of that.
Thank you.
And we talked about different plans and things like that for the 35th Guam legislature. But I think a lot of those plans were based on the idea that maybe there would be a Republican majority in the legislature. It didn't work out that way.
We always hope that. We always hope that. But we no matter how it turns out, we still work. We still work just as hard.
So have you found any of those places yet where there are what I've referred to as the harmony of interests? There are 10 women at the legislature. There's one at Adelup, among others. And I'm wondering if you guys have had a chance to sit down and between the legislature, between the two different branches, talk about, gee, now that we're in charge, look what we ought to be able to do.
Well, first of all, personally, I'm trying to secure the desk closest to the women's bathroom because I want to be first in line because, once we go into recess, that there's going to be a line to get to the restroom. So just on a humorous note, that's. But other than that, I did bring up to the fact to Senator Talina Nelson, why don't we have a women's caucus and see what we could do together rather than party, we remove those party lines and we actually get together because a 10-woman caucus is a very powerful caucus.
I was going to say there's a lot of things that we can get done and a lot of damages to the female community here on Guam and I'm in the top of my head I'm thinking about something I'd read on Facebook, and a buddy of mine who recognizes that among some of our problems here, you get crystal methamphetamine, which is a big problem, and there's a lot of guys that can't control their liquor after drinking a little bit more than 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, and we'll go home, and at the end of a bad day, or the wife says something wrong, he gets cross, and pretty soon the police are called, and somebody is in the emergency room. And I'm wondering if among the women here on Guam they look at that and see if there's something that they can do by way of changing certain things. Now, I hate to sound like the teetotaler, and anybody that knows me knows I like my beer. I like to party just as much as anybody else does. I like to think that I party responsibly, but I'd like to be able to limit the access to alcohol for people that can't party responsibly.
We don't know that until it actually happens, right? So there's so many different issues or so many different types of abuse. And just because a man comes home after drinking, it could be the exact same way with a woman, too. I mean, a woman can come home. I mean, the perception of a man's the one who's going to drink and go out all night and then come home and abuse the wife
the
could be the other way around, too.
It's just that the majority of the domestic abuse cases that I'm reading in the magistrate reports often involved. It's very rare that you hear about the woman.
I don't think a man would go to the police and go, my wife just abused me because she drank so much last night. It's a little different.
Saying that in my mind, I think it's if you drive around, I mean, within a mile of the house that you live in right now, how many places are there that have off-sale alcohol, off-premise alcohol permits? Within just a mile of the house. Think about that, and how much of that is too much, and when is a responsible time to start selling beer? B.J. Cruz already sent in a couple of legislatures ago the time to stop selling beer, but when is a responsible time to start selling beer?
It's a good question.
Well, I'm just saying
we need to remove that stigma. Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Everybody says that.
What's the line? If you're going to make that face at me when I buy beer at 9 o'clock in the morning, then don't sell beer to me at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? 9:52. Brad asking the question online. He says, Ray, ask them about males getting the immunization. Boys are the carrier that give HPV to females. Guys end up with throat cancer while women get cervical cancer.
I'm so glad that they asked that question because in the beginning when HPV immunization came out, everybody thought that just because you get cervical cancer, immunization is only directed to the females. But no, males are carriers of the HPV. And they can pass it on to the females, too, as well.
All right. So
and oral cancer, too, is also prevalent. Yeah.
There's up to 6 different types. But like Senator Luis Munoz said, this whole campaign and this whole program is really to try to break the stigma and the mindset here on our island and to just bring it in a different perspective, because before it would be, oh, well, I don't want to get this vaccine because my child's it's going to lead to open doors and opportunities. And then now it's more the mindset like, okay, now that this studies have shown that it prevents cancer, let's try to be proactive in our community and with our health and our children.
So yes, so boys and girls together.
Yes.
Anybody that has suffered cancer knows just how awful, awful, awful it is. And if there's a way that we might be able to get in front of it and prevent it, if we're just talking about a couple of doses of something or a shot of something, then I would certainly take that into account. Anyway, is there someplace on the World Wide Web we can get more information on this for the next set of schools that you're going to be visiting?
So you can contact our office or Senator Luis Munoz's office, as well as since Tuesday is GW, you can call their school at 734-2911.
Did you see that? There's no notes. She's off the top of her head.
I was just telling her that earlier. I was like,
she's
wow.
looking at directly in my eyes and then gives me the numbers.
And you can definitely visit GuamCancerCare.org for more information about our program, as well as our Facebook, social media. Senator Luis Munoz's office is always available.
And if you want to get involved in all of the fun stuff they have coming up throughout the calendar year, but obviously in October, then make contact, because these guys are fun to party with.
They are. And they always have something to party for.
Exactly, exactly. Well, tell you, I got to take a break. While we're taking the break, I'm going to get some selfies here, because that's what I do. And then we'll come up and figure out how we're going to kill the last couple of minutes of the program. Stick around, Brown.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
That's another phrase I want to bring back from the 70s. If you got it, flaunt it, baby. You've heard that one before. You're from the 70s. That rings familiar to you, doesn't it? Like I said, I'm also trying to bring back the word beep, as in I'll beep you when I know where I'm going to be later. Because everybody, I'll text you, I'll WhatsApp you, I'll message you, whatever. I'll just beep you, because that's what we used to call. And the technology is not all that different from what it was before. So, it almost makes perfect sense. Now, there's another word that I want to bring back. I think I've been fairly successful in making groovy a good word to use. Because the other day, you and I were talking, I told you something, you just came right back at me, groovy. Totally get it. Understood.
Yeah. Of course, people around here think I'm kind of a hippie anyway.
Well, that is a fact.
Words like far out.
Yes.
Cool.
So, but the other one is breezing. Right? I mean, when was the last time you heard somebody, like there's that old George Benson song, Breezin', right? It's one of the great guitar songs. Yeah. Top down, cruising around, got the windows. What me and my buddies used to call 4x4 air, where you got the air conditioner on 5, right, out of 5, but all your windows are down. Man, that's the best. That is absolutely the best way to do it. Anyway, so you do, and so you're driving down, like, because gas was at the time like $1 a gallon or something. You get in the car and you got the air conditioner going, but the windows are down, and you're headed down the old Agate-Umatic Road back in the day, and you're just breezing. We're breezing. What are you doing? What'd you do all week? I was just breezing all weekend long. So find opportunities, ladies and gentlemen, to use words and phrases just like that. If for no other reason, it will baffle young people. They're just, what the heck are you talking about? And you just got to smile. You just got to go, you just had to be there.
Tell them to Google it.
You would have enjoyed it. No, it's a word. It's a word that describes, I think, a sensation more than anything else. Like the Chamorro word "magoda." As people say, what does that mean? You can't say what it means, because it's a feeling. It's not like I can tell you how you feel about something. I can describe a little bit of it. That feeling that you get. when you look at somebody's eyelashes? The feeling that you get when there's a baby and you see that baby fat and you just want to squeeze it because it looks so mungy?
Okay,
There's also a version of it, that feeling that you get when you're looking at somebody and you're trying to figure out where in his face you're going to punch him. You're Magodai for the fight. Right, so there's that kind of feeling as well. Anyway, I might just leave you with that as thoughts and concepts as we make our way into the weekend. I think it's going to be a great weekend for a lot of people. I've certainly got my plans for those of you that are going to be goofing off tomorrow looking for a 5K, because there's a 5K every Saturday for the rest of the month, and there might even be more being added to the list. But tomorrow is the Guam International Airport's 5K, and this is special for no other reason because it starts on Hill, number one, and number two, it's the first 5K of 2019. This is going to be the one where everybody is going to be doing their absolute best to get up the hill and then back down in a record-breaking fashion. You know, number one, it's a race, but number two, this is the one that is going to set I think the racing standard for a lot of runners in a lot of different categories for the balance of the year. So I hope you got some training in the last couple of days. Hope you've been doing your strides. And so I'll see you tomorrow morning over at Home Depot, which is where they're going to be launching that particular 5K. And then other stuff over the weekend, well, either today or tomorrow, because the weatherman says if you want to get grill marks, you might need to do it today or tomorrow, because by Sunday, maybe a little bit more cloud, maybe a little bit more rain activity coming in through here. Listen, whatever happens, whatever we end up doing this weekend, do it carefully. As I'm fond of saying, have as much fun as you possibly can, but be careful and like it so that we're all back here together again on Monday morning. For Kevin and Mike and Blake and the guests of the program and people that make it so much fun for me to be here, my name is Ray Gibson. Thanks very much for watching and listening. I'll catch you Monday morning. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Over the wall. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The partial government shutdown continues with no paychecks going out tomorrow for several 100,000 federal workers. Thousands of others have been furloughed. The key roadblock in ending the shutdown is President Trump's demand for border wall funding. The president flying to the border in